still think of the past. And too many fullness, and day after day. Misery, and too many fullness, and day after day. Your passion, take it from me. Ask will tell you when to make yourself happy. Your passion, your passion, your passion. Ask will tell you when to make yourself a hero. Without flowers, forget what they've wet for day after day. Without flowers blossom in the stream of tears, they still think of the past. And too many fullness, and day after day. Misery, and too many fullness, and day after day. Your passion, take it from me. Ask will tell you when to make yourself happy. Your passion, your passion, your passion. Ask will tell you when to make yourself a hero. Without flowers, forget what they've wet for day after day. Without flowers blossom in the stream of tears, they still think of the past. And too many fullness, and day after day. Misery, and too many fullness, and day after day. Your passion, take it from me.
What is good, people? It is the KOA podcast. Satsuki the
The.
Savage, everything animated. What is good with y'all folks tonight?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We have even more shows to watch today. You thought there was a lot before? Sasuke shocked. You thought there was a lot before? There's even more now.
Yeah, we have a bit of shows to cover tonight. Fullmetal Alchemist, Lazarus, Rocket's Lady's Modesty, Ranger Rejects, Season 2, Apocalypse Hotel, and Future Diary. But hopefully this podcast won't be as long as all these shows will indicate. What is good, Trayvon? What is good with you, buddy?
Hello, Trayvon. Welcome in. Also, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We do this every week. It's something that we love. It's our little labor of love. Yeah, subscribe, share it out. If you find it entertaining, give us the likes, all the above. So it's greatly appreciated from everybody.
For sure. And if you're not familiar with this show at all, this is the KOA podcast where we select a couple of anime from the current season and we go through this process of watching it every week and deciding whether it's going to live or die. To die means that we're not going to cover it on the podcast anymore. and basically we make these decisions from like 25% of the anime. So usually, if we're watching a 12 episode show, we'll decide whether to kill or to keep going with it at episode 3, episode 6, episode 9. You get the picture. But I mean, this is basically week 2 of spring 2025. So there will be no shows up for killing or passing or anything like that. But it is me and EA now, which makes the rules a little different as far as how things work. Because usually it's majority, but how we're killing and passing shows, or really just killing, as based on unanimous decision. If we both feel that a show isn't, up to snuff, then we get rid of that show. And we might even do it earlier than episode 3, because honestly, there's a lot of different shows that we could be covering. So I don't think it's one of those things to where it's like we're going to be as strapped as we were last season. Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, last season we weren't covering anything. But this season has a lot of different things that I'm sure will interest us beyond what we're watching. Some of which I gotta pick up myself, actually. I was really interested. Did I show you that show? There was a show called
you may have
Kowloon Generic Romance. I don't know if I showed you the trailer for that. I was interested in it, but somebody told me it was skipping a whole bunch of, or they were going to condense like the whole show into how many episodes they have, and that deterred me away from it.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, it looked interesting.
Also, Trayvon, C Tactics is taking a season off. He's just taking a break. He'll be back next season.
Yeah. I haven't looked into what we were covering in the summer season, but it'll be good.
One of them is going to be My Dress Up Darling season 2.
Well, yeah. Looking at it now, My Dress Up Darling, Dadadon season 2.
Oh, that too. Back in time for that. Oh wow, that too. See, summer's going to be great.
Yeah, Rent a Girlfriend season 4.
Oh, just in time for C Tactics to lose his mind. See, we're bringing the band back. Me and Rising, we're going to go do it again. He's just in the straitjacket going, no more,
no more,
no more of that fucking red-haired psycho.
And Shirley is good so far. I heard from a friend that they were watching that, and it got me kind of interested in it. I seen the I didn't see much of it because did I watch the trailer for it? I feel like I did watch the trailer for it. That was another one of those series where the art style kind of intrigued me. But I haven't gotten to watching it.
I watched Witch Watch, the first episode.
How did you like it or not like it?
It's exactly what I imagined it would be. After seeing the trailer for it, I'm like, I might as well see what happens. Yeah. Stupid girl, like, I messed up on this magic trick, and she has to hide that she's a witch and she's terrible at it. Oh my god. And they have 25 episodes scheduled for it. I'm just like, oh no. I'm good.
Well, yeah, this seems like a show that we avoided. It was definitely a show I was thinking about locking it in, or not locking it in, but thinking it. C kind of, was kind of opposed to it, and then I did some digging in it, and I looked at the trailer, and it did look like one of those comedies that I'm not really a fan of. I can't tell you exactly what kind of comedies I do like in anime, just because it can be diverse, but I'm finding that
it was pretty good.
Well, I'm finding that for me, a lot of the series that I tend to like that are comedies that's not like the main genre. There are some that are like that, but it's usually comedy, action comedy or rom-com. It's usually never just strictly comedy. It's like
a hybrid.
Yeah.
That's true.
The only one I can think of that's purely a comedy and that's really it to it is Hinamatsuri. And that has a lot of different things that are going for it other than the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, y'all see the lineup, man. The first show we got to get into is Fullmetal Alchemist, which is going to be the last episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. It is a show that we covered. How long has it been at this point?
All of last year.
4 or 5 months we've been watching it. Because
It's been a long time.
Yeah, because it bled into last season, of course. So I want to say 4 or 5 months we've been watching it, and it's been a ride. And then obviously the other show that we're covering that is not a part of the spring 2025 season is Future Diary, which we're covering episodes 2 and 3. We have the schedule still posted.
Oh boy.
If you guys want to see that, I think what I'll end up doing is, constantly reposting the schedules just so people are informed and know what episodes they got to catch up to, so they don't have to refer to an old post so much.
Yeah.
But EA, it's time to get into it, man. Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Episode 64. Also, guys, there's no news. Nothing in the world happened.
No.
Everything's good.
No news whatsoever. The world is not falling apart. Everything's totally fine. Nothing is at all wrong. It's all good.
Everything is fine in the United States.
I'm that freaking dog where everything's on fire and I'm sipping on my coffee going, this is fine.
Absolutely.
Yes, nothing to worry about. But anyway, yeah, no news, but yeah, we'll be discussing the last episode. I did it. I made it. Without any spoilers or anything. That's credible for me. I said this last episode and I'll say it again. I understand why people hold this anime in such high regards as far as just being one of the best, if not the best anime. It's 64 episodes and that may seem daunting just on the outside looking in, but to be honest, I can't imagine an episode that you could like take out or shorten up to make it even shorter, because everything just felt so complete, I guess. It's just a perfect series and with a perfect ending, and this anime will definitely stand the test of time. I feel like it has. 2009, 2010, it's been 15, 16 years since this thing came out, and it still looks great. That's the wonderful thing about animation. It's just animation never dies. I mean, yeah, some things look older, but I feel like they can always get like remasters or like updated versions of what's already a classic, like Akira and stuff like that. But yeah, this is it was good, very good ending. It leaves everything like complete. Just a nice. I feel like there's some shows where it's left open to where you're just like, what's going to happen next? But like, I think this is one of the more kind of like complete endings where it's just like, this is it. This was their journey. You can imagine what they're going to do next, I guess. But overall, there's nothing else to be said.
Yeah. I know what Ed's going to do as soon as he goes back to Winry. I mean, they already showed as much with the picture at the end, but I'm telling you right now, if you're in a situation like that where you're with somebody and you're going to be gone for as long as he was going to be gone, and then you come back to that person, the hormones are going to go crazy. So,
baby, I missed you.
I already know they probably conceived a child that same day he came back.
I mean, they have one girl, one boy, and then they're going to have another girl and or boy, and they're going to probably have as many kids as there are people living in that village by the time everything's said and done.
Just repopulate the entire village.
Yep. It's like, oh, that's That's the Elric family. What do? They just fuck. That's all they do is just fuck. Really? That's all their kids? Mm-hmm.
So,
damn.
So, of course, we're jumping ahead. It's the ending. Who cares?
Who cares?
We got to talk about your girl, or the one that you kept criticizing.
May?
Because we saw the ending, and it looks like May and Al are a thing.
Yeah, it did. Like, she was right there doing the peace sign and everything, looking happy. I'm like, what's she doing there? Oh, she's with she's with Ed. I mean, not Ed, Al. I'm like, okay. And I guess, good for him. He deserves happiness. She deserves happiness. At the end of the day, her character's fine, I guess. Nothing too terrible. I don't know. Didn't really care for her choices in the in the series overall. But is it me, or does Al sound weird when he has his body back? He doesn't sound the same. He sounds different to me.
I feel like it's probably because he doesn't have like the filter on his voice. Because they have like a filter on his voice, because when he talks, it sounds kind of like echoey, as if he's in a suit of armor. Yeah, so I think that may contribute to it, because now his voice is more flat,
Yeah, I guess that's true, because when I'm so used to hearing Al a certain way, that whenever I hear him back in like human form, I'm just like, you don't sound right. This doesn't sound right. You are not. You're an imposter. This is not the Al I knew. But it's just a little something that I noticed when I was watching it. Because when I think of Al, I don't know, maybe it's just the way that like the voice actress was like portraying it too, as well, was just the whole, brother, this is how I talk all the time. My name's Al. But then when he's got his human body back, he's just like, Ed, I'm so just chill. Yeah. What do you think about May? May, we're just friends, brother. It's like he sounds like he's high. He just really just cooled down. But hey, I guess if I got my body back too, I'd be pretty chill.
Yeah. It was also cool just to see a little bit of the rehab, because he got his body back. Of course, his week, being that it was in the other dimension for all that time, so he had to walk with the cane for a bit. His face was hollowed in, and but all he needed was Winry's pie. he got right back to it. Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of Winry's pie, she straight up, as soon as she saw Al and Ed come back, I know it's supposed to be like a touching, like a heartwarming moment, and I'm like, yeah, that's sweet. She straight up tackled both of them.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Hey, Buccaneers to have a tryout soon, Winry, I need you to protect Baker Mayfield. Tackle like that, and you good with me.
Oh my god!
Bring your wrench.
That's your secret weapon, is the wrench. Yeah, but that was heartwarming. That was sweet. Poor old Al was just like, my body's already decomposing and dead. I feel like you broke my legs in like 20 different places. Yeah. Overall, yeah, he's all right.
That
just
was like,
walk it off.
That was like one of Winry's most gentle greetings, when you think about all the time she's greeted them in the past. I mean, I think
that is true.
I think the first time we ever see her is when she throws a wrench at Ed's head.
Yeah. Poor Ed. He doesn't even have his leg back. He forever is going to have Winry tighten up that leg for him. It's like, this old leg, hey, what it used to be. Could you fix it for me? Sure thing, dear. Get your fucking leg here.
That's the funny thing too about thinking about their relationship is that if they ever have an argument or something, she's not fixing his leg or she's fucking tightening that bolt a little too tight, so he's stuck.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my dinner? What do you mean? What? Ask. Go ahead and get yourself your own dinner. But baby, my leg doesn't work. I don't care. I can see that.
And Automel works it to where like the person who does, there's people who can do repairs and whatnot, but the person who works on your Automel is just generally going to be more adept at making those repairs. So if Ed, and Winry had an argument, he wanted to get some repairs on this Automel, he could go to somebody else, but it's not going to work the same. I'm not going to imagine Winry going like, it was like, fine, you want to fix my leg? I'm going to such and such. Oh, you want to go to that bitch? We'll see. You're going to be walking. You're going to be walking with a limp next time you come here.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like I'm going over to Sherry's house and do what? What do you think? She knows how to wind me up.
And she doesn't need to use a WD-40. Oh, you want to go there?
All those times that you like tighten my lug nuts, I was faking it.
The thing is, I could definitely see them. They're both nerds in their respective fields. I mean, I guess we got to talk about that. How did you feel about the confession with Ed? Did you like it?
Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Like he's just one of those type where, instead of saying I love you or I want to be with you, he's like, I love you. I'm sorry, what'd you say? What? Yeah, what did you just say? Nothing. I just look at the wind. All of you.
I mean,
it's fine, I guess. It's just it is what it is. I've seen better.
I definitely am very fond of the confession just because it was done in Ed's own way. Ed's not a romantic type of person that we've seen. Obviously, he feels those feelings, but I felt like it would have been out of character. I'm not saying it would have been out of character for him just to say I love you, but I think it would have. I think him being awkward about it and then trying to relate it to alchemy is the most Ed way that you can confess. And I think if Winry wasn't so in tune with them, it probably would have been a miss. But because, I really like the part, because he says, I give half my life to you, doing a whole equivalent exchange thing. And then she says, I'll give my entire life to you. And then she, recants on that and goes like, maybe 85 is good. I don't know. I like that moment just because it felt more intimate than maybe not. I guess intimate is the word, or more personal. It felt more personal than I love you. Because that's something that anybody can say, and a lot of people feel. But I think in a way that they did it, again, it's more personal to their characters and more true to themselves. So
yeah,
I really liked it.
I mean, I guess it's better than like getting on the train and it right as soon as it closes, just going ski.
They say it's super low. What?
She's running. What'd you say? And then he's just like, his little heart.
I'll see you again, Winry.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But it was cute. It was cute.
Yeah. But yeah, Ed travels east, and you know what I love? We're going to talk about Al in a second, but I love that the reason why they even travel, Ed and Al, that is, because Al goes to Shing, and again, we're going to talk more about that. And Ed travels the west or the east, doing some research. I love the fact that they reference their initial failure of what happened to Nina. I love how that has impact even now. It's just when we talk about this series and we keep bloviating about how everything matters in the series, even moments where you thought, oh, that just happened in that arc. Like, sure, it was sad and everything, but okay, now we're in the current time and this is what matters now. Their entire journey has made them who they are, and they'll never forget when they couldn't save that little girl. For all the power that they had, for all that they learned, how smart they were, they always think about them not being able to save Nina, because they left it at that, and because of it, Scar ended up killing her later on, which obviously that wasn't malicious, that was more of a mercy kill. But again, they still feel that was a wrong that needed to be right in the future, so that motivates them to do what they end up doing. And again, that moment happened so early in the series that we're talking about episode like 5, maybe even earlier than that. It was really early in the series, so
it was really, really early.
Yeah, for that moment to be relevant now, I think is just really indicative of there being a plan with the series, or even if it wasn't necessarily a plan, just the mangaka going back and going, all right, let's connect these pieces and make it all matter in the end.
Yeah, they did really good with that. What are they gonna do? We're just gonna learn and just wander the earth, kind of like somebody that they are related to, their father, their actual dad.
Yeah, and it's very cool with Hohenheim, because it's like they're almost like continuing his story in a way too. And I like how they're like covering two halves of the world. Ed is going to Shing and going to all these different areas, and Ed's covering everywhere else. So they split up the work as far as trying to go to the alchemy side and go to the alchehistory side and try to connect those things, which again, this series has been very prominent with that theme of equivalent exchange and everything connecting. And I thought that was a cool way to try to bridge the knowledge between everything that they learn and try to do something greater. So yeah, great moment. But yeah, I think we got to talk more about Al, because he goes to visit Gracia and I think her name is Alicia. And they just they talk, of course, and Al remembers Maze Hughes, of course, and
he can't breathe down there.
Why are you making
I'm evil. I'm sorry.
The fuck is wrong with
I'm sorry. I just remember that from that exchange. Just that he died and everything. And the daughter's like, how can he breathe when he's down there?
Daddy can't do his work.
I can't explain to you, kid, but your dad's dead.
But
terrible. I'm sorry.
So in their conversation, Al talks about giving back to all the people that's helped him, because he acknowledges all the support he's gotten over his journey. And Gracia talks about, oh, like that's what you alchemists think of with the equivalent exchange. And then Al kind of changes his stance on that, and he says, no, this is more, or my philosophy now is more about giving more than I've received. If I get 10, maybe I give 11, and that may seem minor in the moment, but that builds up for something. And it just shows you how much he's grown. And with a philosophy like that, I think it just, I don't know, I think now he's out of the realm of relating everything to alchemy, and he's more so he's more so trying to do the best to be more of like a humanitarian or a philanthropist, because
Yeah.
if we're relating this back to Hohenheim, he got a lot of help over the way, thanks to all the Sheen souls, but he gave and gave and gave and gave, and he was like one of the most kind people, and I think he's kind of taking that mantle, and to take up that mantle, yeah, you give more than you take.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Wonderful, sweet moment. Just kind of, like I said, just basically putting a bow on everything and tying all loose ends and making sure that they say their fond farewells to everybody. Because, we got, Hughes's family. We even got the, what would you call them? Homunculus animal hybrid
the
things.
chimeras.
Chimera, not homunculus. The chimeras, and they're some of them are coming along on Al's journey, and Al's like, "Oh, you guys, seriously, stop following."
It's funny too. It's funny to think about because they actually have families of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why are you following this little kid?
I know, it's like he's a teenager. You don't want to be labeled a creep, do you? Go back to your families.
But I get it though.
Yeah,
because they feel they've already expressed they want to go back to their families in their human bodies. They feel like monsters with the bodies that they have.
They don't look that bad. They just need to stop eating a lot, and they'll be fine.
Well, I don't know if the chimera thing is a result, or how they look as a result of the chimera thing. They may just look like that.
So I used to be a model, but now I look like this.
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't either. But yeah, it just showed them, and they're almost kind of like inspiration in a way, because they were once enemies to each other, but Al essentially just with his kindness showed them the right way, and now look at them. They're following a teenager.
Yeah. It's because Al was treating them like people despite their bodies, and Al giving his perspective. This is not the first time it's happened. It also happened with Ed. With I think his name was number 47. It was the one that was with, or not with Barry the Chopper, but the one that was also like Barry the Chopper that ended up dying. And he talked about how he's never been considered a human for a long time, even to the point he didn't consider himself human anymore. And Ed, of course, because of how his brother's situation treated him like a human, and Al also did the same thing for the chimeras, and they're appreciative of that because it just reminded them of their humanity, and also that it wasn't too late to try to get their bodies, because he's an example of persevering and achieving that goal.
Yeah, and he got his body back. If he can do that, possibly these chimera can get theirs back as well.
Yeah, we'll
see what happens. They all gotta do equivalent exchange and get get rid of their truth, and then they'll be brought back. God. I don't know.
They could learn alchemy, for all we know.
Yeah.
But let's actually talk about stuff that happened at the beginning. So there was a whole.
I know we're going backwards.
Yeah, whole thing with Mustang. So Dr. Knox visits Mustang. And we see that Mustang is studying his fallen culture, and also he's still blind, which cool for him.
Yeah, very cool for him. I'm glad he's happy.
Yeah, I forgot how that whole thing ended with his story, to the point where I was like, damn, I didn't even remember him still being blind at this point. But yeah, he was blind. He suffered the consequences still. But that's when Dr. Knox.
Marco.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah, he brings out Marco, and he's like,
guess who's behind this door?
Hey,
I can't see. Tell me who it is. It's Dr. Marco.
Just feel my face. Oh, Dr.
Right.
Marco.
Ugh. Jesus Christ, it's Dr. Marco.
He's like, yeah, I got a philosopher's stone that I sacrificed a whole bunch of Ishvalans with. You want to use it, bro? And then Mustang's like,
I'm so glad you got the hookup. Give me some of that.
Mustang's like, huh? If this was Ed or Al, they probably would say no, but not me. I'll take it.
You're right. Ed and Al would be against this, but fuck that shit. I'm taking this.
I do like that, you know, because I mean, Mustang has already shown that he's different from Ed and Al and their whole philosophy on it. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things to where you, of course, you don't like the idea of using the souls of these, you know, victims for your own personal gain. But at the same time, that is something that can't be reversed for sure. So if you're going to, but if it's already done, you might as well use it for the betterment of the world. Which, for him, he's trying to better the relations between Amestrius and Ishval. You know, he's giving them back their country. He's studying their culture. He's trying to make sure he can become an ambassador because the Ishvalan War is something that he thoroughly regrets and wants to make amends for. So I think that was good on him. And then he also said, I'm not even going to take it for myself initially. I got somebody that you need to heal before you heal me, which ends up being Havoc.
Yeah, because he wasn't going to walk again. And then he got that little fix. I'm like, oh, that's great. He can walk again. Another
callback, because Havoc is important when it comes to Roy's faction, but he wasn't important for the overall narrative of the story. He was somebody that got out of here also early on, and you kind of don't really remember him until he comes back when Maria Ross comes back, and then you're like, oh shit, Havoc. But again, goes back to that moment, and it's like, damn. Does this mangaka forget anybody? It makes you want to go to all the characters and all the plot lines and go like, there's got to be someone that's missing off this list that they didn't address. And no, it's kind of like she goes to everybody and is like, if there was anything lingering, it's addressed in this episode or before.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Mr. Mustang gets his eyesight back, but yeah, it is for the greater good. It's to make the world a better place, which wish there was more leaders that were like that. It's like, can't we all just get along and make the world a better place? Nah.
Tariffs.
Nah. What are money? Money. Mr. Krabs, money.
I like money.
Yeah. What made you want to open another Krusty Krab? Money. Yeah, serious fuckingly. But all that was great. Really, really sweet and really cool stuff. Other stuff that I'd like to happen after that was the stuff with Scar. And seeing Scar, with Miles, that was a chef's kiss right there. And Miles, two Ishvalans, one who both of them went through basically different paths in order to get to where they were. And now it's essentially like, hey, Scar, want to kind of like make the world a better place? And we can't let our Ishvalan history die. Let's keep it going. And he's like, okay. And I thought for sure we were going to get Scar's name because they're like, that's not your name. What is your real name? That person who I was died, and this person also died. I'm nobody. I really like that. I just like how he worded it and said it. I was like, we had this person who was an Ishvalan that died, and then we had this person who was just created through just revenge and anger that died, and he is now born again.
Yeah. his redemption is definitely one of my favorite things in the series, and him, renouncing his name was something that had a lot of meaning at the beginning, just because it was indicative of the path he was on, which was a path of revenge. But this time, it's not as if he's rejecting his name, but it's more so he's showing that this is my new slate. I've abandoned my name when I walked on the path of blood, and I tried to get revenge for Ishval. But now I'm on a different path, and now I'm going to work towards healing the country. So like his name isn't the important thing, because like he said, he's like you said, it's like he's been born anew. So yeah, I really like that from him.
Yeah,
Great
I was
character
happy for him too. Great character moment, and his journey and his path is done, so to speak. I mean, obviously, he's still got work to do, but like that whole revenge stint is over. Now he's at peace.
You know what I like about Scar and his character? Sometimes when you have a character who gets redeemed from walking the path of revenge, I think one thing that usually happens is that they end up regretting trying to get revenge, or
Right.
is seen as a wrong thing. That really isn't the case with Scar. It's not as if Scar has, he's had heart to hearts where he's thought about, like, maybe there was something different I could have did, but at the end of the day, he never saw it as wrong. And I don't think he was wrong for feeling the way he felt, because I mean, given what happened, I mean, who wouldn't be in a state like that? And especially given, the additional stuff of him, like, getting his brother's arms, waking up in that traumatic moment where he's looking around and all he sees are Emestrians, and he's freaking the fuck out, and, things spiral and spiral. He never, the story never made it feel like he was wrong for feeling that way. It instead worked to make him shift his ire and, better way to say it, his passion into helping his people, because all of it roots from his love of his people. So instead of using that love of his people to make him act and outlet it in a form of violence, now it's outletted in a form of healing Ishval, now that there's a path for, real relations between them and Amestria. So I like that.
Because how many times have we seen in media and in all kinds of like stories that, I'm on the path of destruction, I revenge, this. They'll do many things. They'll either die, self-sacrifice, they'll, as you put it, regret that they did it and maybe have a change of heart, or I don't know, there's just nobody that just has a happy ending whatsoever. But yeah, I agree. Scar is one of these unique characters where he even told Winry, who was inclined to her revenge when it came to her parents and everything. He didn't deny her of that. He said, who am I? I'd be a fucking hypocrite if I was to say you shouldn't feel the way that you do. You kill me, it's essentially what is happening to me. So yeah, that's a very interesting way that you put it that way, because I was just like, yeah, he never really kind of, like, he had it, but then he kind of like put it towards other things, not so much just solely focused on that revenge anymore.
I mean, he's even said as much. He still doesn't like Amestria. It's not one of those things to where he's friends with everybody here. He's just like, all right, I did this because I care about my people. This wasn't just, obviously it lended itself to looking like blind rage, but it was very focused. As you can call Scar whatever, but you can't really say that he wasn't focused in who his targets were. Yes, he was misguided when he tried to go after Ed and Al, who had nothing to do with the war, but his goal was State Alchemists, for the intent reason that State Alchemists were the ones who crippled Ishval. So
Yeah.
even then, he made it a rule. It's not like he said, "Oh, I'm going to kill all Emestrians," because he knew that wasn't, it wasn't all Emestrians' fault that what happened happened. He made it a concerted effort. I'm going after specific people in the military because they had something to do with what happened. Obviously not Ed, but again, he's always had his rage filter in a certain way that for all his rage where it may seem out of whack, he still made it a rule, and he still, like, I don't know, had some type of structure to what he was doing.
Mhm.
So it makes sense that he got to this point because he's always been very self-aware, and it's never been like he's never been just a psycho doing shit just to do shit like
Right,
Kim Lee or
right.
somebody.
Yeah, exactly. He's not the Joker. But yeah, knowing what I know, or knowing what we know now that we've watched everything, I wonder how many of those people that Scar originally killed were a part of the whole, yeah, I'm going to become immortal here pretty soon. It makes me wonder which ones were justified and which ones were just completely blind, didn't even fucking know, and they were just following orders.
I mean, Scar killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't. It was probably a lot of people that were just following orders. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say there. We couldn't say for sure, but I wouldn't say a majority of the people he killed were people who were malicious, and some might not even had anything to do with the Ishvalan War. Because sure, there was state alchemists involved in it, but it's not like we saw every state alchemist that they ever had be in the Ishvalan War. And then there were special cases like Ed, who became state alchemist after the fact. And and then think about someone like Armstrong, who was in the war initially but bowed out after seeing all the atrocities they committed. He was done. Like, imagine if Scar would have killed him, and we know Armstrong wouldn't have deserved that because he was the one person who was like, yeah, I'm not with this, and he got branded a coward basically.
Yeah, by his own sister of all people. You filthy coward.
Oh, and also she was involved in the whole Scar thing too.
Yeah, she kind of had a very not conclusive ending. I mean, I'm assuming she's just going to go back to being a general. She just was like, hey, yeah, you're there. Cool. Is your name Scar? No. Well, we're glad to have you aboard. And then just walked out. I'm like, oh, okay, that was kind of, I don't know. I expected maybe a little more with her.
Well, they do show Grumman, who was Roy's superior when he was I think he was in Eastern. But Grumman is actually the Fuhrer. So that was actually a surprise, because I think everybody thought that Roy was going to be the guy. Especially with the time skip. I'm pretty sure everybody thought Roy was going to be the Fuhrer. But come to find out, it's this old guy. And
I mean, he eventually became the Fuhrer, though, right? At the very end, when you saw the photos.
Yeah, because he even said as much. Like he framed it as like, I'm going to, he's getting old, so he's going to have to choose a successor between Olivier and Mustang. And I'm a Olivier stan, love her to death. But if I had to choose one to be the leader of the entire country, I'm going to choose Mustang, just because he's
more compassionate.
Yeah. Olivier is going to, of course, if you want to make sure your country's never invaded, or you're going to be the strongest military or whatever, sure, Olivier. But if you want to make sure that your country has great relations with everybody around it, you're probably never going to see war.
Yeah,
you probably want to go with Roy.
Make Roy like we think about how it works here in the States. Make Roy the president and make Olivier the Secretary of Defense. She'd be the perfect person for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, she had her moment. Was just kind of there, and then just was like, "Peace out, homie." I'm guessing she's gonna go back to Briggs and do her thing.
I mean, honestly, I know she wanted that position, but Briggs is just the perfect place for her.
Yeah,
Her running the North just makes way more sense than her going to Central and
yeah,
trying to lead the country. Not saying that she's capable, of course, but I think for a place as like barren as the North, where living conditions are harsh, supposedly, like we know the relations with the neighboring country isn't good. She is the perfect person to be the last line of defense for uh, what stands in between Amestria getting invaded by neighboring countries. She's just perfect for the North. It fits her personality.
yeah,
People love her, of course. Yeah, I just think it, and she's cultivated the culture there as well. So I just think it works better for her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. As much as she would rule with an iron fist, being the Fuhrer, some people are just, it's kind of like you see those older movies where it's like, why are you not a captain yet? And they've been on, I don't know, been a cop their whole life, but they love to be on the streets and they love to bust down doors and just fight people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like Die Hard or Beverly Hills Cop or whatever. And yeah, she's one of those where she likes to do things her own way, and if she was to go higher up and be whatever, she would have to like kind of like not do those things anymore. So unfortunately, yeah, that's just one of the things she has to either settle or change who she is, and she's not going to change who she is.
Oh yeah, she is. She is an iron wall, the wall of Briggs, as they call her. But
Yep.
I mean, I think we talked about pretty much everything that happened in the episode. So I guess more general thoughts on the
On
show.
Full Metal.
Yeah, like
Ah,
how do you feel about Brotherhood in comparison to the original Full Metal Alchemist, if you remember?
No, yeah, I do. But I will say some things when it comes to just my opinions and original versus Full Metal or Brotherhood. The original one compared to Brotherhood, I feel like implemented Ed more, which is a weird thing to say because like in Brotherhood you had this whole cast of so many characters. All of them are great, all of them are good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna trash on any one of them because I feel like they're all just perfect. I just feel like when it comes to Ed being in Brotherhood, he's kind of overshadowed by all these other characters that just stand out and just kind of like, I wouldn't say do more, but they kind of like leave a lasting impression. While as in the original Full Metal, Ed and Al run that fucking series. Like that's their series. Yeah, you have Armstrong and sure you have characters that weren't even introduced. Olivier's not in it, Father's not in it, and a whole bunch of other ones. And some characters are still alive and some die. I think Scar died in the original one, which is crazy to think. But Ed, like it was more of a story about Ed in the original one. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. It's just I feel like he was more the main character and like there was more depth to him in that versus Brotherhood where he's still fine and he's still great in this. But then you have him and you have Olivier and you have Father and you have Hohenheim. You have all these wonderful cast of characters that just kind of like overshadow him in a way. Not to say it's a bad thing. It's just something that I noticed when I watched it.
Yeah, I mean, the original Fullmetal Alchemist has a much shorter cast. Like
Yeah.
the prominent characters in Fullmetal Alchemist, the original, are basically the homunculus, Ed, Al, and Roy. Like it's not a lot of characters that actually have an impact in that series or that are even in the series at all. That have a lot of speaking lines and whatnot. Whereas Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, like you said, or where you were getting at, where it's like there's so many more characters, and I think Brotherhood was better making everybody feel like they had some type of, even if it wasn't some major thing to happen where they defeat the big bad or something, everybody had an impact in Brotherhood. It felt where if they didn't, contribute to beating the big bad, they contribute to the emotions that existed within the characters. Nina, for example, has a lasting impact that we see towards the end of the series. Maze Hughes, for example, has a lasting presence that we see to the end of the series. Havoc, he gets, everybody just felt like they had their role. And I think when it comes to the theme of what what Fullmetal Alchemist was working for, which is all is one, one for all, I think the themes were done and executed to like a masterful level in Brotherhood as opposed to the original Fullmetal Alchemist. I think the original Fullmetal Alchemist did a lot of great things. We talked about it before. I think they did a good job of humanizing the homunculus in a way where I'm not going to say, because it will be blasphemous for me to say that Brotherhood didn't humanize some of them. It's just that in Brotherhood, it felt like they were showing you the humanity of them while also just saying explicitly they're basically still monsters. Whereas in the original Fullmetal Alchemist, it felt like, oh shit, like Lust, for example, where it's like, man, okay, this is pretty, kind of tragic, where it's like they definitely were getting you on the side of the homunculus, where it's like damn near some of the show, most of the show is about the homunculus themselves, while the homunculus kind of stay in an antagonist role with Brotherhood. It's almost like the homunculus are the protags at some points in the original Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, especially with Lust. Like, she had such a huge part in the original where, again, I'm just trying to, I'm like remembering or off the top of my head, like I feel like she was trying to break free, like she didn't want to be a part of it anymore. She had to take care of a young kid who was then Wrath at the time, which didn't exist in Brotherhood. And that was very interesting just to see that kind of dynamic versus in Brotherhood where they follow orders, they follow rules, they don't go outside other than one or two people or homuncula like Greed. Greed's a hell of a lot better in this than he was in the original. Like, I feel like he was just as short in the original as well. But Greed's great in Brotherhood. But I think that they're different. I think the studio did a great job by just, because they adapted what was back then an incomplete manga back then, so everything felt the same up to a certain point, and once you got to that point, both are polar opposites. One veers left, the other veers right, and that's essentially how that works. And story and just complete, I don't know, series wise, Brotherhood, I could see why it's definitely better. There's some things that I love about the original, like I said, where Bear the Chopper seems more badass. They humanize the homunculus, and Ed is more prolific in this one. Him and Al. And also I liked Al's VA in the original Fullmetal just because it was an actual 12-year-old boy doing the voice. And I thought that was cool. And for what it's worth, he was really fucking good for being 12 years old. And in this one, obviously, you couldn't do that. You couldn't cast the same person that went through puberty and doesn't sound 12 years old anymore. But I understand.
Trayvon said, I like the Zumi way more in the OG than Brotherhood.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
Zumi was pretty good in the original. I feel like she had, not to say she had more character, but I feel like she was more prevalent in that one, too.
Yeah. I would say the reason is because the original Fullmetal Alchemist focused more on the sacrifices and like the human transmutation and like the consequences of that more. So characters like Azumi, like you said, Ed and Al, they remember Shao Tucker. He was a character that lasted up until the end.
He lasted. He turned into a weird chimera thing.
Yeah. because that series was more so focused on the sacrifices and um like the dark side of the uh the original sin, which was human transmutation. So a lot of people will cite that show was a lot more darker, which I can definitely agree in some instances. I do think Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood doesn't get enough credit for sometimes how dark it is, because sometimes death and death doesn't indicate how dark something can be sometimes. But
Yeah. I mean, when you get those wrenches in there, those wrench gags, they
oh my god,
takes it away from it.
But while I do like Brotherhood better, I think most fans will tell you what I'm about to say, which is Brotherhood is better, but the original Fullmetal Alchemist is still worth the experience. Just to
Absolutely.
see where they went with the story, because it's very interesting where they went with the story. It's one of those adaptations that both fans of both kind of hold in high regard. They go, some people think the original is better, which I don't agree with, but I can kind of get into that perspective just because depending on what you're looking for or looking in for Fullmetal Alchemist, and if you experience one first, obviously the original one came in 2003. So most people experience that first, but I could see why you would like different components in the original Fullmetal Alchemist over Brotherhood. It has a story that's worth visiting, and it's one of those things to where I think people would enjoy if studios took if you had the unique situation with Brotherhood where they didn't have any more material to work off of. I think people wouldn't mind if they took liberties given that situation. Now, of course, if the material's already there and then the studio still decides, fuck it, we're doing our own thing, people are going to get mad. But
of course,
if you're in a unique situation where Fullmetal Alchemist was, no material, we still want to do the show, let's come up with our own shit. I think people would be actually interested to see where a studio can go if it's competent enough, obviously.
I feel like if you did that, you could possibly create some series that may even be better than the actual like mangaka when it comes out. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they made they did Jujutsu Kaisen, and we only got to, I don't know, the Shibuya incident up to a certain point. You could totally write that and just be like, let's make this something unique. And you could probably come up with something fairly just like great. And then, years later, that original mangaka like finishes it, and then they want to go, oh, let's make a Jujutsu Kaisen Brotherhood and do that. Essentially, what you could do is, from that argument alone, you could get people that would be like, oh, this is way better. And what they did, because I understand Jujutsu Kaisen is very mixed when it comes to how it ended. But essentially, you could like make the argument and say, like, you could create something that essentially would end up better than the original. Would that necessarily be better for the person that created it, or would it be worse? I don't know. I think maybe they would be pissed off if that happened, but at the same time, you could create something that could essentially live in people's memory bank and go, remember the original Jujutsu Kaisen? Oh, that was so much better than what the mangaka did.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not even a matter of which one would be better. It's just like taking the foundation of what you have and exploring different routes you can take with the story given that foundation. It's kind of like an extended what if, so to speak.
Okay. Kind of like what were those books back in the day? Like your choose your own adventure type, where you're just like, you're going to take a left or you're going to go right.
Yeah.
Just something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be neat.
It's interesting too, just to see like the different themes that are more prevalent. Just going back to Fullmetal Alchemist and both of them, because they both have different things that they emphasize with. So that's also interesting. But I guess just to wrap things up, Oh man, this
Because they
has
kind
been
of do that in comic books. Sorry, I'll just say this really quick. Where
yeah.
they make alternate versions of stuff. They like,
They
but
do it
to
all
do
the
that
time.
animated,
Yeah,
that would be, yeah.
yeah.
Let's do it.
They have different writers all the time for comics, so they kind of just go back. They have like the skeleton of the character, and people take liberties with it. We have a Batman that kills for one writer. We have
Yeah.
many
How
variations of
many
Jokers.
different Spider-Man? Just
Yeah.
all. I mean, hell, they made a movie based off of that.
Mhm.
Those are based off real comic books.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's make ourselves a different version of Dragon Ball where Goku doesn't give Cell a sensu bean or something along those lines. Dad, why did you do that? I want him to be a fair fight. This motherfucker's gonna blow up the world. I don't care what's fair.
We kind of got that with the Sparking Zero. I don't know if that was a moment that you could choose, but they had like some what if moments in the game.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, you were saying. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm just going to read. Trayvon said, "I still can't believe they made Hughes not seen the movie." I never watched the movie, so I did not know that.
Me neither.
That's hilarious.
Me neither. Those are completely just original.
Daddy.
My name's Hughes. Zig Heil, my friend. It's like, no. Why are you doing this?
Daddy can't be a Nazi anymore, mommy.
Why is he in the hole? He can't Zig Heil when he's buried.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, I mean, just to wrap things up, this is my, I want to say, third, fourth time re-experiencing Fullmetal Alchemist. I've read it, I watched it a couple times. This is definitely the most highest I felt about Fullmetal Alchemist. It's one of those series where I always juggle my top 10, top 5, because depending on whenever I rewatched it, I just, that recency bias kicks in.
Of course.
And that might be the case with this show as well. But I think no matter what, I'll always remember this show as one of my favorites. I think it is an example of executing your themes to perfection. Having an incredible cast of characters who are not only memorable because of their little quirks, but because of what they do in the story. Whether it be what they did for the final part where we get to the big bad, and just their dynamics with the characters. I think this show does so much right. And I remember hearing a narrative that Fullmetal Alchemist doesn't have any peaks, as if that's a real criticism. If that is a criticism, if you say Fullmetal Alchemist doesn't have peaks,
it's very mid.
Yeah, if your criticism is it doesn't have peaks, my retort to that would be, sure, it doesn't have any peaks because it's very consistently great throughout the entire series. I mean, a peak would mean that you have a low point at some point.
Right.
So Fullmetal Alchemist is kind of just out the gate, just straight along great. And if it does have peaks, it's just like a little bit where it's like, oh, this is really great. It's like one of the best
Remember
episodes.
that one episode? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had issue with that. This is an anime series that, you always have your series where it's like, what would you recommend to somebody who's never seen anime before? And I'm sure you would have your go-tos. You would have, for me anyway, Cowboy Bebop's a good one. Steins Gate, if you're into sci-fi, just things like that. This would be up there just for overall, just great storytelling. Because there are some anime that you watch just for the action, Solo Leveling, and you watch, the story is not there. But this is a blend of just like story, action, Just the sense of dread and urgency. I don't know. It just has it hits on all cylinders, and it's just everything is just perfect.
Yeah. Definitely glad that this show was chosen, that we all agreed to pick it. It's been fun.
I'm glad
talking
I
about
opened up my mouth and said I never saw it. That's what started the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know how the conversation. It was just basically like, I've never seen Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and both you and C were like, "What?
Yeah.
Give this man a straight jacket. Put him in a padded cell."
Yeah. I will say, as far as Nakama Club, because this is something that we're obviously going to continue. I don't think more into this season just because of where we're ending it, but definitely going to pick another show that is going to be fun to talk about. But this has been one of my favorites, I will say.
Yeah, this has been a great Nakama Club. I'm glad I stuck. Well, I was never going to drop it. I was never going to be like, oh God, with this. No, I already had high expectations. It was going to be good. Maybe there was something in the back of my mind where I said, is it going to live up to the hype that everybody like puts it on this pedestal? And it sure did. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we are done talking about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. We're good. So, it is now time to talk about our next show, which is none other than Shinichiro Watanabe's latest work, known as Lazarus.
Lazarus. Pew, 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 pew.
We got to open it now.
Yeah. It's very reminiscent to Cowboy Bebop. Like, just almost identical in a way, just with the color scheme, the black and white silhouettes.
Having limited vocals. This one doesn't have any vocals, but Cowboy Bebop just has like the beginning where they set the
beginning,
stage.
3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Yeah, and then the rest is just, music.
Yeah. It's very much a Shinichiro Watanabe opening, and I couldn't be happier for it. I'm just like, yep, this is what I signed up for. I love it.
Yeah. So, getting into the show, the show just confirmed what we were already making a joke of last week, which was that this is literally the Suicide Squad, and Hirsch is or whatever. I cannot ever remember her name. I know it starts with a W. I'm gonna look it up.
No, I think it's Hirsch.
No. I know her name is Hirsch, but I'm talking about the Suicide Squad. What's her name?
I thought it was Hirsch.
Waller. I'm talking about the Suicide Squad.
Oh, Waller.
Yeah.
Yes,
Waller.
yes. My bad.
Yeah.
Yes, Waller. Waller is the one. She's the head of the Suicide Squad. Yes, Hirsch is Waller. Waller Hirsch. Yeah. He's poor old Axel. He can never catch a break. He was trying to break out yet again, or escape, and just got zapped. Nope, that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, pretty smooth with it. He does like a handstand to kind of distract everybody. Then he slips in and takes Chris's gun, and he holds her hostage. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this. Let me go." She's like, "Fuck that." Oh. So she has contingency plans to where if she's ever harmed, that they can blow up their wristbands are set to like burn their arm off or their hand off. So kind
of mean,
but yeah, this group Lazarus is comprised of a whole bunch of criminals who are just kind of like Suicide Squad, whole bunch of criminals who are designed to do good for the world. Now with Axel, we know his whole story, which we hilariously saw when he was in the car with Chris, and
he got 3 years, but got 855 years because he kept breaking out.
Yeah, it was just funny. Chris's reaction. She was like, "Yeah, so what are you in here for?" He's like, "I got like 800 years or something." And then she's like, I didn't know I was in the car with fucking Leatherface.
That was funny. He said, "Hold on, let me explain. I originally got 3 years for some petty theft or whatever the fuck it was, but because I kept breaking out, they tack on so many years." And
Yeah.
I mean, what did he say? They double your
He
sentence.
said they double it every time. So I did the numbers, and
Yeah, what's the
it
numbers?
would have meant that he successfully escaped at least 9 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I guess his most recent one would be number 10.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. That's a record. That is a record.
Yeah, El Chapo is probably looking at him like, "Oh my fucking god! I need to take
Why can't I be this lucky?
I need to take his techniques."
Yeah. I need to start doing some parkour.
Yeah. But
Yeah, we learned about that. We learned about kind of the rest of the crew. Doug did some stuff, but he doesn't want to talk about it.
yeah, he said
kind of like very short with it.
he said he had a misdemeanor, and I'm like, okay, what did you do though? He very expertly avoided that question. He gave Leland enough to where he would be satisfied, I guess, with that answer, but he didn't really answer the question. He didn't say what he did specifically, which leads me to think that he may actually be the one who's the worst criminal out of all of them, because
Maybe.
there's this weird dynamic between him and Doug, or Axel and Doug, where we see this dynamic with Shinichiro Watanabe characters sometimes. For example, Jet and Spike, where Jet seems like more put together, the more mature adult. And then I relate it to like Mugen and Jin from Samurai Champloo. Mugen's the wild card. Jin is the one who's more, like I said, mature. And I think they're going for that dynamic with these two, Doug and Axel. But I think it may be in a weird twist where Doug is the one who has done some crazy shit in his past that he doesn't want to expose to everybody else. But he seems like he's the most put together, because that's his demeanor.
Yeah, I could see that too, because he looks well put together. He's well dressed. He's got the prim, proper glasses and everything, and well spoken for. But yeah, he's probably got something hidden up his sleeve, like he killed somebody or something. Maybe it was self-defense. Who knows? Like, it has to be something pretty bad, but it's gonna go back to just I killed somebody, but there was for a reason for it. It wasn't just like a crime of passion or just some petty theft or something.
Yeah, because you just have to imagine with a character like him. I feel like we are seeing some of why these people may have been locked up, even if it's not addressed. Like, for example, the character Elena, who's the hacker. We can obviously tell why the hell she's locked up, because she's hacking shit. Obviously,
she hacked into the UN, maybe the Pentagon or something.
Yeah. And then you have a character like Chris, which we don't know what she's locked up for, but we can, just based on the whole structure of a character like Faye, for example, we can see something like fraud or what's the word, like embezzling, something like that, something of the sort like that. I could definitely see her like using her looks or something to swindle a whole bunch of people. We like I said, there's different clues to where we can assume what these other people may have done. But Doug is the one character who's keeping his cards very close to himself. We don't know what the hell, because everybody has their own expertise, it seems. Leland said that he was a thief. Elena has her hacking thing. Axel is an escape artist. We don't really know with Chris, but I mean, we did kind of see it with the first episode where she tricked Axel and shocked him, so she can like use her feminine wiles and stuff like that. And again, Doug is the one character where we're like, what exactly are you up to? He seems very smart, but I mean, everybody else seems smart too. So I don't know what is with Doug. He's the one has question marks all around him.
Yeah, Yeah, that always leads to just very interesting like dynamics where it's like, what's going to happen with this character? What it's like the whole mysterious kind of like vibe of a person is just always really neat. It is a letdown when it's like not that cool. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is going to happen with this character, but I'm hoping that it's like a really cool. But it's okay. I could see why he would keep that close to the chest.
He's just like, yeah, I went to the self checkout and I didn't scan this cake. What?
I walked out of Walmart and didn't show him a receipt.
Yeah,
God.
I agree with you though. I think it may be something where he killed somebody because remember, Chris was the one who thought Axel was the killer. And Axel's like, no, I didn't fucking kill nobody. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had a killer amongst their midst because it seems like nobody has done any murders, and you would think that not everybody in this. Actually, no. Do you remember in the beginning of the series where he's listening to music and he requests a song and he requested a song and he said something to the effect of, he was like, Siri, can you play music by somebody who sold their soul or something of the sort?
Yeah. You're right. That epic foreshadowing, maybe.
Yeah. So I think he's,
wow.
I think out of everybody, he's probably did the thing that's most taboo or the most morally wrong.
That's a good pickup. I totally forgot about that till you just said that, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
That totally fits.
Yeah. But this episode we got more of the characters, but in typical Shinichiro Watanabe fashion, this felt kind of like an episodic episode where it doesn't seem to have any bearing on the overall plot.
Yeah.
But
right. I mean, it's just kind of there to introduce the characters, really.
Yeah, but it still does just because their mission is to look for him. So, of course, you're going to run into missions like this where you have failures. But like their whole thing is they find a place where they think that Dr. Skinner may be hiding out. So we split up the teams. Elena's doing her hacking thing, so she's on her own with Hirsch. And then you have Chris, Axel, and then you have the team of Doug and Leland. And they go their separate ways to go to the where he may be hiding out. And a huge misunderstanding that we haven't seen since like Rent a Girlfriend or something. Huge misunderstanding happens in the midst of them trying to find him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was both of them had huge misunderstandings. Like Axel and Chris were in Arizona, represent. They made it all the way to, I don't know, like out in the middle of the fucking desert. Like it was just like, it looked like where the Russian mafia and the cartels were at each other's wits. And you could tell because they were speaking their native tongues, one Russian, one Spanish. And I'm like, that's cool. It's like, what's going on? I don't know. Caught in the crossfire. This one dude's just like on the chair with his head down like that. Not even scared.
I like the
bullets are flying everywhere. Just
he was given that there was like I think he had like pill bottles on the ground. He was probably just drugged out, sleep. I just like the fact that bullets were flying and he never got hit. Like they just made it a concerted effort to not hit him.
Right, just like at least take one through the leg or through the arm or something. That didn't even happen. He's just like taking a bunch of drugs because he was ready to end his life and wakes up and goes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Bad. Yeah, I mean,
I didn't mean to do this.
Yeah, because, okay, so, like, what ends up being the whole plot, because it's not really much to talk about with this episode, but what ends up happening in the whole plot is that the character that we're following with Chris and Axel ends up being Kobayashi. And on the other side, Kobayashi is somebody that owed the two guys money that were holding up Leland and Doug. So they're like, oh, we thought you were Kobayashi. But turns out Kobayashi's in this other area, and they're the DEA, the FBI, the Russian mafia, the cartel.
Lazarus!
And
Lazarus.
Yeah, they're all looking for Dr. Skinner. So when they see that Kobayashi's not Dr. Skinner, they're like, which also goes to show you that all these other countries are like making their best effort looking for Dr. Skinner as well, because everybody's in danger.
Right. It's not just one. I was thinking that too before, like this season's or this series started. I was like, is it just going to be this crew, and everybody else is just going to be like, well, we got 30 days.
We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it to all the Japanese people.
Actually, very oddly specific, but yeah, no, everyone is going for it, and I was like, okay, that seems like that would realistically be how it would be.
Yeah, like every faction, of course. Like we're working with the underbelly of society, but they're probably the people that are most equipped to deal with this. But we're also seeing, I mean, the FBI and DEA try to find him as well. It just shows the desperation of all these countries to try to find him and get a cure.
Yeah, on the other side of the country, Leland and Doug, they went to what I could equate to as an abandoned Apple store, and it was just, guy comes in with a shotgun. Hold up, where's my money? What? Right.
He looked like Tyrone. He looked like Tyrone Biggums in that picture.
He really did. He had the do-rag and everything.
That's all I kept
Or not the do-rag, beanie.
Yeah, that's all I kept thinking about when I saw him. He had the red one too, specifically. That's what made me think of him. I was like, oh my God.
I wonder if he made that based off of him. It's like, I love Dave Chappelle.
That wouldn't be surprising. I mean, he does like a lot of American culture stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. He just did like a Google search of what's a guy in a do-rag look like? I keep saying do-rag. Beanie look like. Oh, there we go. And it's the GIF of Tyrone doing that. It's perfect. I want him.
Yeah, just without the crack powder. And yeah.
Right. Yeah, he held up, and then the other guy came and it's like, wait, we're looking for the same guy. Oh, what a hilarious misunderstanding. Then by the end of it, they're just chit-chatting and laughing and everything. Yeah. I always like moments like that where everybody's at each other's throats 1 minute and then the next they're laughing. It's like, hey, you want to join our crew? No, if I do, I'd have to kill you. Oh, this guy, he's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Just that sick, twisted sense of humor.
Pretty much end of the episode, Kobayashi, after he apologizes and everybody's like, well, this is not the guy we're looking for. He's like, I should start over. He's like, wait, the world's ended in like 20 something days. Kind of started a little late, but I mean, hey, it's the thought that counts.
Yep. Trayvon says, I feel like everyone's going to die at the end of the series. Wouldn't that be a twist? No happy ending, no nothing, just everyone fucking dies.
I'd be surprised if the story would go in that direction. Not saying that we got Cowboy Bebop with the ending with Spike, obviously. So it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility for him to have a tragic ending. I just feel like for what Shinichiro Watanabe does with, because this is not the first time he's had a plot that's similar to this. This happened in Carol and Tuesday, if you remember. Remember, Earth was like really, not desolate, but Earth wasn't. They went to Mars because Earth wasn't as inhabitable. And,
exactly.
It was kind of like abandoned, and Earth became kind of like a prison for people who were really bad and stuff. Like Earth became like a prison itself. So he does a lot of these stuff where he talks about the environment and just like world relations and stuff like that, and how that affects people globally. So, and I think for the most part, he tries to have a positive spin on it. Like, how can we make this better? Like with Carol and Tuesday, they sing basically their version of "We Are the World" with the mother song. So he tends to have a positive theme. It it's like dark at first, and then he tries to make it positive later. Usually.
Yeah. Usually.
So
I mean, and if we're to be believed that, all of his shows are in the same world or in the same universe, so to speak, who knows? Maybe this is what leads up to Earth becoming a prison, a planet, so to speak. Who knows? But yeah, freaking speaking of world relations, they did a little kind of I don't know, like a quick dive into Dr. Skinner, basically his background and whatnot, and how he seemed like he was genuinely a nice person. Like, he didn't show that he was bad. He helped homeless people. Hell, he cared so much about the environment. He got up on stage and started giving a little speech about it, and everybody else from the UN was like, fuck this dude.
and then you see which is the first country that left.
Of course, it was the United States, and then China was second. I was like, yeah, of course.
Accurate.
Not lie.
Hey,
fucking accurate.
Can we stop capitalism for one moment and just like actually care about the world? Lame ass nerd.
I know. It's like, we gotta stop this before the world becomes crazy. It's like, this fucking nerd. What's he talking? Get a girlfriend, you loser. I'm leaving. Let's go get my $1 billion sushi.
Oh man, yeah. See, with his shows, I feel like he has commentary about stuff like that. And I can't say that's not exactly accurate to how we are. But
nope.
but I think that's
not really.
I think that's why I don't. Well, I believe that's why I don't believe that this drug is actually going to kill everybody in the end, because we saw his backstory and it seemed like he cared about humanity. I don't think he's ever lost that care. I think what he wants is for people to start caring. And I think his plan is basically to put the world in a crisis to where they have to band together. Because now look at, we literally had an episode where the fucking Russian mafia, the cartel, the DEA, the FBI, and then some random other group basically got together and they're like, and they had the same goal essentially. They obviously fought, but that's because they thought they didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was like very chaotic, right. But they had the same goal and they kind of just split off for all we know. It's not like they killed each other afterwards. They were like, oh, all right, let's go. You need a ride back home? I got you.
It's like, hey, you may be Russian, you may be Mexican. Let's all go to the bar after this. Let's get to know each other. Yeah, vodka on me and tequila on me. It's just, yeah. That's a very interesting thought, the way to put it, though. But yeah, this was all just an experiment that he did for humanity. I could see that as an end too.
I think about it like, and not saying like this was an intentional thing, but think about like Attack on Titan, where things became so dire that everybody, even people that hated each other, had to force themselves to fall under the same banner. I think Dr. Skinner is creating that same crisis where, because everybody thinks that their death is imminent, that they now have to care about all the stuff that he was talking about. Because before, people don't care about stuff because they just feel invincible. This is like this is just like a tendency for humans in general, where you think things aren't going to affect you, or because things are happening now, it doesn't matter later. So,
right.
I think this whole Hopna thing, it just accelerates the urgency for the world to be better. I could be wrong about that. He could actually just be like, fuck y'all laughed at me.
You called me a nerd and you walked out when I said protect the earth. Well, protect this.
It could just be an asshole. But from what we've seen, like this man won a Nobel Peace Peace Prize 3 times. Like you said, he was helping homeless people. He seemed like a very good person, and he truly was a philanthropist, humanitarian. So I can't see him. I can't see him going full on. All right, fuck everybody. I can't see it.
One day he just woke up and he was pushed way too far, and it was all because of one thing. Someone didn't like say excuse me or thank you. He held the door open. Guy didn't say thank you. He just got triggered. His whole body just started shaking. He's just, all right, humanity, you want to play this game? You're fucking dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility just because, like, as put by Nui Harame from Kill La Kill, hate and love are like on the same side of the coin, and you know, if your passion is in one way, it can definitely flip depending on what happens. Like the same person that you love, you can hate depending on the circumstances.
Yeah,
because strong feelings are strong feelings.
Absolutely, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Of course, we get cool action, cool fighting again, just great car driving and everything. Pretty cool stuff. Although it was not nearly as long or vast as the first episode, which isn't a bad thing. It is what it is. Still fun to see, you know, especially Axel hopping up on the wall and everything, and then coming down and just like just knocking people down and whatnot. Still cool stuff.
I'm really hoping that we see more of these, like, I want to say, like, more of these crack teams where we get like more 2-man teams, and we get to see the dynamic between those two characters. Because while I do want to see, like,
that'd be cool.
While I do want like there to be a group culture for Lazarus, I want it to be like Cowboy Bebop, where, you know, like you care for all these characters and you really want to see how they all interact and coexist with each other. That's interesting. But it's also interesting to see how different people interact with different people. Like, how will Axel react to someone who's on the younger side, like Leland? How does Axel treat a woman like Chris? How does Axel treat someone, like a younger girl like Elaine? Doug and Axel seem to have a unique relationship because Doug doesn't seem to like Axel at all. So I do want to see more of those like weird teams. Like, give me next episode Doug and Chris, and then give me like Elena and Axel, stuff like that.
That would be cool. Yeah. That just like by itself would just be neat. Just because Elena's just very shy. She just like peeks over tabletops, very shy anime character.
Yeah. And that's why I can make it very interesting. I mean, give me Elaine and Chris, and then like have an episode where they're, I don't know, fucking shopping or something. I don't know.
Just having a makeover. We got 30 days left, bitch. You and I are gonna have a wonderful makeover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be funny.
Yeah, but this show has.
I like.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I like how you get little tidbits of the media in the series where they're literally just talking about how, well, there's only 30 days left. Who fucking cares? Like, I don't know who they were supposed to imitate or who it was supposed to be, but it was basically just like the regular talk show setup, and guy was talking saying, "Hey, so her new album when it comes out, or listen to it. What do you think of that?" And she was just kind of like clapped back and was like, "Well, in all fairness, we're not going to be around in a month to see any more shows of your show.
No more of this trash on the show."
Yeah, it's just like, well, son of a bitch.
Yeah, he related it to her album because the album was called like "See You Later, Alligator" or some shit, and he was
my god,
he was like, "Get back at you, crocodile," or some shit like that.
Yeah, but it's just a little stuff that you see in the media, just stuff like that, and they
were
little things here and there.
They were interviewing the gardener of Dr. Skinner, which like I think that was just like a good example of how the media will go to literally any source for a story that they try to create. Like,
Oh, true.
what the fuck is the gardener going to tell you about Dr. Skinner? The gardener was like, yeah, he had a cat.
I buried a cat.
Did he fucking skin the cat alive? No, the cat was old and we just buried it.
And they were just like, ugh. But yeah, no, the media is like that. They'll literally just latch on to anything to try to get a story out of it.
Yeah.
That's where you get those people that just come out of the woodwork and they go, well, I saw an alien that lived up on my house and it just plumbed in, just took my head off. Yeah. And then the other guy comes in, I saw it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
My God.
But that's the interesting thing about them digging for dirt when it comes to Dr. Skinner. They can't find anything bad about this guy. Everything that we learned about him isn't bad or indicative of him doing what he's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're so surprised. They're like, damn, he got to be like low-key evil or something. And it's no. Everybody who's around him, they've been treated with respect. Everything they've dug about his past, even as a kid to now, he's been good. He gave up the patent for his drug, which was a global phenomenon. Like, he donates his money, Nobel Peace Prizes. He just seems like like they said, he just seems like a saint.
Yeah.
So what would lead a
Crazy.
saint to doing what he did now, which is dooming humanity? Well,
Interesting question.
yeah.
And the episode ends when the hacker girl finds what she presumes to be over 1,000 Dr. Skinners. Though the faces look like a superimposed kind of like, I don't know, something that you would see like AI or just some kind of like fake face or whatever, deep fake, whatever you want to call it. And that's just how it ends. It ends right then and there, and then it cuts to the ending song, which I'm just like, So this is him trying to hide, or is he trying to throw off? Obviously, he's trying to throw whoever's looking for him off. But I'm curious to see what happens in the next episode with that.
Yeah. I would speculate on how he did all of this, but I think that really doesn't matter. I think what matters in a moment is that he predicted that this would happen, that they would try to use facial recognition to try to find him, and he's set up a contingency plan for that to be rendered basically useless. So, I mean, he's at every bit as brilliant as they've shown. Don't know how he did it exactly, or if there's some bigger meaning to it. But I mean, they're chasing the right guy. It's not going to be easy catch.
Satsuki, do I look like a guy that has a plan?
I just see a car and I chase it. I'm like a dog. I don't know what I would do with it.
Yeah, great stuff. But no, enjoyable. I think I look forward to this, and I'm never bored. I did switch it up like periodically just to see how it sounded in the sub versus the dub. I think I prefer the dub, even though the sub's pretty damn good too. I just listened to a couple scenes just to see what it sounded like. I was like, oh, that's cool. But because it's Shinichiro, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it dub for the rest of the series, just cause I gotta.
Trayvon said the ending song of Lazarus visuals and the fact they got nowhere to go since they are prisoners, but I hope I'm wrong. Maybe think it would end that way. I mean, we'll see. I would hope that it would have well, I won't say I hope for an optimistic end. I just hope that it ends well. That's it. So if that,
I do too.
If the vision for that ends up being the death of these characters, so be it. I just hope that it ends well.
Yeah, same. All of a sudden we get a Carol and Tuesday. They're just like singing, "Can you feel it? Can you feel it?"
You hear that song coming from like the PA speakers, like just you seeing everybody glowing. What the fuck is happening to me?
They just all start, their brains start scrambling and they fucking die and fall to the ground.
But that is it for Lazarus episode 2. On to the next show, which is Rock is a Lady's Modesty, episode 2. Yeah.
I'm not killing this show.
Well, I'm gonna let you talk about that since you were interested in that segment of the episode.
Well, we get kind of where we left off, where, essentially, our main girl Elise is thinking about old prissy Otaha, and she's just like, oh, this fucking bitch. How dare she insult me and say all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. So she's being her prim and proper self. We get to a wonderful scene where we have wonderful English. Just love the English. I love it in anime, and I don't know if this is just me coming off as just being bad or evil or whatever, but you can always tell when someone has an accent, and it's very thick sometimes it comes through, but they're just like, wow, she speaks such good English. Again, there's better versions of English than others, and I'm not trying to make fun or anything. I'm just saying, like, it's always like people love it whenever they hear any kind of English. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's like the teacher, when the teacher was speaking, the teacher did a really, really great job.
Yeah, she sounded great.
But Lalisa was like, yeah, I don't know about this one.
She has that accent. Like, I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen Terror in Residence, another Shinichiro Watanabe show where I think her name was Five, and she had a hugely thick accent. She's just like, you're kidding me. Put camera on this. It's like, I can't understand what you're saying. Thank God for subtitles. Yeah, unbelievable. But anyway, it leads to her saying that, and all of her followers just go around her. They're like, oh, wow, how did you learn how to speak such good English? And she says, I listened to a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. And nobody knew what it was. And I'm like, you uncultured swines, none of you know good shit. And then she had to like change it up and go, I mean, classical music,
And
old Shakespeare, blah, blah, blah. And Oda somehow picked up, Otaha picked up wind of this and was like, oh, you like Red Hot Chili Peppers too? I love Linkin Park. And I'm like, okay. She talked about two of my favorite bands. I'm done.
The funny part just was she was in the bathroom when she was when this happened. So Ota just comes up from the bathroom and says, I fucking love that too.
That's it. It made it even funnier. But then, like I said, I'm reading the subtitles. I'm just like, tears coming down my face, just like they know these bands exist.
Yeah.
And then that's when I say, I'm never killing this show. Just for that alone. But Otaha, I guess like after all that, she's trying to convince Lalisa to come back and play again. Even after all the shit she talked. And I was with Lalisa. I'm like, no. Why would I come back and play with you after all the shit that you said? Now, Sasuke, I'm going to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody ever called you certain names and talked down to you and said, you suck dick at this game, or just not this game, just, I don't know, like you can't shoot a hoop to save your life? And then they were just like, I'm sorry, I was just in the heat of the moment.
Well, no. But this is what I was talking about last week. I was saying that I think, and they validated it, I thought that Otaha's whole thing wasn't that she felt malicious towards Lisa. It was one of those things to where it's like, and I don't agree with it because I don't do this, but what people will do, like they'll say like, oh, it's gamer talk or whatever. When people shit talk you on a game or something, they'll be in the heat of the moment, or they're so passionate about what they're playing, they'll say whatever, and it's kind of like they're kind of treated as like it's a that was an in a moment thing, but obviously it means more depending on what you
Right.
say.
Right. Exactly. It's like, you got real personal when I
Yeah.
killed you. You said something about my mother, called me a couple slurs. It's like, I don't think that's what you call passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I agree.
I could definitely see
Mm-mm.
like how that was perceived, and I think Lalisa was definitely justified in how she felt. And I think it was a good, the show did a good job of just showing her hesitation with wanting to join up with her, not only because of her wanting to shun that side of herself, but just because of what Ota was saying and whatnot. But I'm gonna say it almost every episode. Otaha is literally Yumeko. She is so much like Lalisa is so much like Mary. Ota is so much like Yumeko. It is not even funny to me at this point. Because Yumiko has like the same kind of thing where she has like this two-faced personality. She's very polite outside of gambling. Outside of gambling, Yumiko's one of the sweetest characters you'll ever see. She'll give you the shirt off her back or something like that. She gets in the gamble, you're dealing with a monster. She'll deceive, she'll trick, she'll lie, she'll do whatever it takes to get a good gamble. She will mock you. You're getting a whole different character with Yumiko when it comes to gambling. And that's the same thing that you get with Otaha. Because she's so passionate about rock that, it comes in that passion comes in the outlet of trash talking, being super vulgar. And it's like, again, it's a little like wild and crazy. But I also think they're going for this whole thing of like rock being, which it is, like the song of rebellion and passion in like a crude form. So I think that's why also like there's that stark contrast between Otaha and then Otaha.
Otaha, the prim and proper lady.
Yeah.
Versus Otaha, the drummer, that's almost kind of like punk rockish. With it's definitely something with the flipping off and the I'm going to shit for brains.
Yeah.
I love the intro, by the way. Like the intro is really fucking cool. Intro, like I love when a show likes to change things up and it doesn't sound like every fucking intro. There's a video on YouTube that's, I forget how long. I think it's like 20 minutes long. And what they did, I'm not even kidding when I say this, they took animes from all different parts of the year and they put it all into one giant loop just to basically show you how they sounded the same.
It's
where it's just like
formula.
and then the other one, like it is a formula. So whenever I get a song or intro that sounds like that, where you're just banging your head to it, you're just like, okay, I like this intro. It's nice.
Yeah, the intro is pretty good. Visuals as well. Trayvon said, "Lit it up in the VA for Otaha is the VA for Carol and Tuesday."
No shit.
Oh, you want to know something interesting too? It's not that interesting, but apparently the mangaka for this series was an assistant for the person who wrote Karakuri Circus.
Huh.
Yeah. I know.
And we did that one a long time ago, right?
2018, that fall season.
God. that epic fall season. Ingress and JoJo is elite. Do you understand? I agree.
But I think I like this episode a lot more than the first episode, just because I like what we were getting from Lalisa. This episode really was going into her character and like her. Oh God, yeah, she fucking sucks. I knew she was gonna suck as soon as I heard.
Me too.
As soon as Alice played the hell of the violin, I was like, yeah, Lisa's about to suck dick, isn't she?
Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, her passion is not there. She's gonna sound awful. They're setting it up for her to just be bad, and she gave it 2 strokes, and the teacher was like, stop. No. Not again.
At least she isn't like that Clanad character. I think her name was, I forgot her name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. She
wanna-
had the purple hair.
Yeah, I want to say her name starts with a K, but she would play her violin and literally everybody would hold their ears and faint at the sound. It was so funny.
The whole world shattered. Like the whole world was shaking when she would play. And right, it was like an enemy stand or something. Everybody was on the ground.
That gag was hilarious. I want to rewatch Clanad at some point, but that gag was hilarious. Yeah. Oh my god.
Hey, maybe knock him a club.
I feel like that's a show we definitely have to revisit. It is on the longer side, just because Clanad and Clanad After Story. But I mean,
After Story.
We really can't have any excuses after we watch Fullmetal Alchemist.
No. Like people are going to suggest One Piece. I'm going to be like, no.
Just shut the fuck up.
Remember that one time? No, this isn't the same.
It's like it's going to be like 20 times the amount of episodes at some point.
Oh my god! It's like, all right, for this week we have to watch episodes 1 through 265.
Jesus!
In a week, I'd be like, kill me now. I can't do it.
And then we jump across the whole episode. It's like, yeah, this episode, Luffy defeated Crocodile, and then in the next part we're talking about I don't know, Luffy getting the going merry in the first place. It's like, wait, what? Like, there's a big gap in what you just said.
No, trust me, we saw it.
Yeah.
Ixnay.
That would be terrible.
Oh my, that would be awful as fuck. But yeah, terrible at playing the violin. It's not her passion. Her guitar is her passion, but she gave it up for reasons we still don't know why, but she's very adamant about it, where she's just like, no, I gave that up. I sacrificed so much. I want to be this kind of woman.
Do you know how much I sacrificed?
Do you know how much I sacrificed? I started this company. What? You motherfuckers.
You can't do this to me.
You guys would be in Pelican Bay.
You just do a mashup.
King Kong basketball ain't got shit on me.
Do you know what it smells like? Pine oil. Oh man.
I'm gonna get that gun.
I love that.
And he shoots him in the ass.
Oh,
bitch.
You just shot me in the ass.
God, he earned that Oscar with that role.
For sure. But we kind of see the dynamic between Alice and Lisa, where Alice is very frigid towards Lisa. She doesn't say a word to her, so we don't have much to glean from that dynamic other than our assumption, at least as to what the story is trying to tell us, is that Alice is, very much opposed to Lisa, given that she probably feels that she's there to replace her or something. That's seems to be her older stepsister. I think Lisa's older.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So she thinks that her father is like putting all his resources into trying to make sure she's the next heir or something of the sort, and she resents that. I can definitely see that being the storyline between these two.
Yeah. Yeah, I can too. It's I mean, like I said, very short what happened, but there's a lot as far as like what we can kind of like dissect and maybe unravel a little bit, but we don't really know 100% what's going on.
Yeah.
We do know that we have a brand new challenger. The new class president, another new girl who's, prim and proper and the best and whatever.
Yep, Yukari.
Yukari. That's her name. I'm not going to say that last name, but Yukari is.
No, we got to say it now.
Oh my god.
You-
Fujimura. God,
Fujimura Saki.
how do you know that? Okay. I'm so bad at these. I would get punched in the face if I ever went to Japan.
What the fuck did you just call me?
No, I'm sorry. Yukihari Fujimaru. Anyway, her.
It is a long name. Wait, how many syllables is
The
that?
longest name I've ever seen.
Fujimura Saki. 6 syllables.
That's 6.
Six syllables.
Fujimura Saki. Okay. When I did that, I did it. Okay, whatever. But yeah, so that like I said, we got a new challenger with that, so to speak. We got, I don't know if it's competition. Well, Lulisa cares. I don't think Otaha cares. I think she's just being nice and whatnot.
I also think that because given that I'm making an Otaha and Yumiko comparison, I also think that she's being very manipulative in knowing that Lulisa wants to get that noble maiden position, so she's trying to leverage her connections with her wanting her to play. So she's like, hey, you play with me, I'll give you some connections, because Otaha doesn't give a fuck about being a noble maiden for what we see.
No.
Like, she's in that position, she'll play the part, but she doesn't care. Lilisa's the one that cares about that. So Otaha's like, look, I can kind of show you the ropes and make sure you're in that position, but you are playing with me after school. So I think she's being nice too. Like, that's just her. I won't even say that's like the facade of her. I do believe that she is a nice person. I just believe that when she gets into certain modes, she's super passionate and like there's like a switch that's flipped with her. I'm a little the same way with it when it comes to, like, I don't know. Like, sometimes when I'm on stream or when I'm playing basketball or something like that, I won't say I'm not ordered like get a rebound, like get this elbow.
Right. I did a fucking Ron Artest to James Harden with the elbow. God. Which was so fucking deliberate, and he's like, "What? That was
oh my god, that was a horrible basketball.
James Harden fell to the floor and was holding his ear because he hit him so hard.
Yeah, that was.
And he's like, "What? What?
Come on!
He's just being a baby. I barely touched him." Oh my god. Yeah, no, I understand that passion too. I mean, I play with dodgeball players. I would say I get to a point where I get amped up, and when I start catching and start throwing whatever, I get into that what I call the zone.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think I ever lose it to where I'm just like, you guys ain't shit, even though there's people I play with that are, and they get a talking to, not from me, but from the refs, where they're like, yellow card. We actually give out cards to people, which is funny. But yeah, it's I think one where I really got like wound up for was watching sports, especially when it came to like football. Especially if my team's doing good and they're like in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, I am just like, what the fuck was that? What is it? Everything's rigged. It's because the fucking Cardinals. No one's ever doing it. My God, this is so bullshit. And it's like stuff I would never say or do.
Yeah.
I just turn into that person because I'm watching a game.
Yeah. For sure. I didn't name that. Sports for sure. You'll definitely see a whole different side of me. And I think that's kind of what we see with Otaha, is that not necessarily she's a different person. It's just that you see a different side of her personality when you get into the rock music, because she's so passionate about it and she loves it so much. We saw like she was practicing like the rhythm of her drumming, like with her feet. Like so it's something that she practiced and she loves. Despite her being a rich girl, we don't know her whole backstory. But I guess we can expect her not to be like Lilisa, where she's a commoner. For her to be born and bred for this type of life, but she chose something else. So that makes her dynamic with Lilisa very interesting, because here you have, we talked about this last week, but here you have Lilisa, a commoner who was born into the field of playing and rocking out, because we were making the assumption that her father maybe taught her, and then she gave it up. Whereas somebody like Otaha probably, had the life that Lalisa would have wanted or does want right now, but she still chose her passion. She talks about her passions in this episode too, because she's like, or Lalisa questions her like, why did you even take up drumming? Like, you're a rich girl. You're supposed to be like the traditional Japanese woman. What the fuck are you doing? And she's like, it doesn't matter about gender, race, religion, whatever. If you love something, you should just do it, and you shouldn't be caught up in images or anything, or like like roles or anything like that.
Yeah. And that 100% goes a long way with anything. It doesn't have to be drumming. It's just anything in life. If you love something, go for it and do it within reason. Please don't dig up dead corpses and have sex with them. That's not what we're saying.
Oh, somebody just put their shovel down and who was listening. Fuck.
They just thumbs down this video. They're just like, you just said I could follow my anything. This was my anything.
There goes my Thursday night.
Obviously, the good passions, not the bad ones. But yeah, I guess whenever Lalisa was talking to Otaha when it came to their passions, she was coaxing her into getting back on that guitar and strumming again. She's like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. She pulled a SpongeBob. I don't need it. I don't need it. Definitely don't need it.
I need it.
And she went right for that guitar. I need it, and just started strumming away. And that's how essentially the episode ends. Is because now she's like, I'm gonna embarrass the fuck out of you this time. And I'm imagining the next episode's gonna be just epic rock and drum, kind of like dueling, so to speak, where it's, I don't know, kind of like the dueling banjos. We're just like trying to outdo one another.
Yeah.
And I think at some point we're going to get two other characters if the intro and ending is any indicator of the band.
Yeah, they look pretty cool too.
Yeah, they look cool. I'm just curious to see what. I both like and hate intros that show characters that we haven't seen yet, just because it's like, I like the dynamic between the two already. If you add a third person, even a fourth person, how are they going to fit in? Are they going to ruin it? Is it going to go downhill? Like, it can make or break a series, because I don't know, let's just say the next girl that shows up who, I forget what they all do, I guess a bass or whatever, starts playing, she's annoying.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden the series is ruined.
Yeah, there was one on the piano, and there was one, I'm assuming, that does bass. But I mean, it might be just one of those things to where they think that the dynamic between Lalisa and Otaha is going to get stale at some point, which it definitely could, depending on how things go. So I'll be open to seeing how these characters come together, and if supposedly they form a band based on the opening. But oh shit, I was going to say something. As far as like this competition between Lalisa and Otaha, I definitely think Otaha is going to win again. But I think,
of course,
she's going to gain more respect for Lalisa, because Lalisa is going to understand what she needs to do to win against Otaha. She can't, not to say that she didn't give effort last time, but I think she's going to go the extra mile and wanted to prove Otaha wrong, or I guess to prove herself right. Which in this instance, she's not only wanted to beat Otaha, but she wants to prove that she was right in giving up the guitar. So
there's a lot wrong with that logic when you're playing a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Because her whole point is like, I'm
going to show them how bad smoking is by smoking right in front of them.
Yeah. It's her whole point is, I shun that side of myself. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to beat you just to get that monkey off my back, and then I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to fall into the sunset. It's like she has to win one more championship to prove all the critics wrong. So it's like, that type of thinking. But Otaha wins, I think, and then it may not. I think that's going to put her in a position where it's like, all right, now I have drive to beat her, and in wanting to beat her is going to ignite her passion and wanting to play again for real. Because now she's kind of just doing it because she's being goaded into it. She hasn't done it of her own volition to some degree. She has to keep getting enticed by Otaha, but it's going to get to a point to where she's like, I just want to play. And I think that's where Otaha wants to get Lalisa in that position.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. She's gonna find her passion. She's gonna go for it, but also maybe at the same time think to herself, remember what I'm here for. She's gonna have like an internal conflict. I think she's gonna love the passion of the guitar, but also want to be the best girl school thing that she could be.
That's probably why she can't beat Otaha as well. If the show just wants to go with this theme, she probably can't beat her because her thought is on beating her instead of just doing what she loves. Because Otaha seems someone who can lose herself in her passion to the point where it's like she kind of isolates herself, and it seems like the outside world doesn't matter. She's just determined to do her own thing. And I think Lalisa needs to channel that, where she doesn't even think about Otaha. She just thinks about how she's going to shine instead of trying to overshadow her.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think this episode was better than the first episode.
Yeah.
Again, I think I was just more upset with Otaha being a prick than anything else. But now that we kind of had a decent response as to why that was, like, I think the character's interesting. Otaha, even though we barely know anything about her, it's just like, she's got a passion for drums. But Lalisa, I feel like, is the main character. Like, this is about her. This is for sure, like, through her perspective. And yeah, just curious to see her background, what little we know of it, and also these two new band members whenever they come up. How annoying are they going to be? Will they ruin the series? We'll find out.
If we're going based on designs, they don't have the look of an annoying character, to be honest.
No, they do look good. It's just, I don't know. Something to, like, what do you think they're going to be? You think, because if we're just basing it off of like anime characteristic, like stereotypes, there's, the shy girl, the very energetic, spunky type. There's, I don't know, the cute one.
Well, given their looks, because there's the white-haired one, she looks like she'll be like the more muted character, kind of like the kudere, so to speak. Maybe like she's one of those super quiet characters that only can, but because what this show is going to work towards is always showing the contrast of the elegance of these girls and then what they tap into when they're passionate about rock. So, and we see it, we see it with Lisa always because we are following her. She's the main character.
Right.
But, I think they're going to follow suit with these other characters. So, like, for all intents and purposes, all of them are going to have some type of elegance towards them to where they fit in with the school.
Eleganto.
But I just think it's going to be in a different way. It seems like the blue-haired one, just based on her appearance, is going to be a lot more like one of those ginky girls, like one of those like hyper girls, just from like the smirk
with a lot of energy. Yeah.
But I definitely don't think, based on this, the white hair girl would be annoying. I can't really see it.
Okay. Well, good. If there was a lolly playing in there, then I'd say we're doomed. That would be the part where I'd say Satsuki. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what's gonna happen. I guess one quick thing that I thought was funny in this episode was Otaha basically making it seem like to the other girls that her and Lalisa
Oh yeah,
had a thing.
Yeah,
And
she kept Yuri.
Lalisa was just like just her face was just so mad and just, can I talk to you for a second?
She kept Yuri baiting, and then everybody was like, "Ah," which made me think: are they just like accepting of like lesbian relationships, or is that just?
I mean, it's an all-girls school. What do you expect?
I mean, but the thing is this is why I asked that question in the first place is because like they're supposed to be the traditional Japanese girl, right?
Oh, true.
So it's like you would think that they wouldn't be so hyper to see a lesbian relationship, but there's also like this whole trope that exists where it's like you heard the whole thing of like they're just good friends, and that's like actually a thing. Not just in Japan, but other places too, where it's like they treat those lesbian relationships, gay relationships as like just like a fling thing that happens in high school and something that you grow out of. So it could also be that type of thing to where they like feel enamored in it in a moment, but later on they're gonna be like, all right, why are you guys still gay? Grow up.
Why are you guys still gay? Oh, that's a rocker, or that's what is the show called? Rocker Girls? Rock Girls?
Rock is a lady's modesty.
That's the sum of, that's the tagline for this show. Why are you still gay?
No, it'd be like, why aren't you gay? Because she keeps Yuri baiting her. And for
okay.
And Elisa's like falling into it too, because she already said like episode 1, she's so beautiful. I'm like,
they did it again this episode. She did the whole flower thing.
Yeah.
Again. And she was like, God, she's so cute. Hey, you want to play with me? Fuck. Oh.
Trayvon said, Cake Bite. Cake Bite is in the chat, said EA is very handsome for a goblin.
Oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. How you doing, Cake Bite?
And, Trayvon said, Lalisa doesn't want to mess up her bag. I feel it. But if she treats it like an after-school program and enjoys her time, I feel like she would be more comfortable and care less what others think. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the whole premise of the story is working towards her freeing herself from the shackles of what she thinks she needs to do from not only like a societal perspective, but I think she needs to free herself from the burden because she's expressed that she wants that noble that noble maiden position to make sure her mother lives comfortably. So it's kind of like what we were talking about last week, where it's like a monetary thing with her, but it's something that she's not thinking about herself. She's not giving personal reasons as far as why she wants to do it. And she keeps expressing how she doesn't like it. She doesn't like faking herself. And she doesn't like any of the stuff that people are talking about, classical music. But it's going to get to a point to where she's going to get tired of sacrificing part of herself to fit in. And, you know, even though the end goal is noble, so to speak, you can only fake for so long, you know? So.
Sure.
And I think that's where Otaha comes in. She's like the, she's like the devil on her shoulder, but I guess in this instance, the devil is actually giving her good advice because it's more so just saying she needs to be herself.
Yeah.
Because she recognizes who she is, but Lalisa obviously doesn't want to show herself.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of the closet.
She's found herself a friend. Exactly. Get out of the closet and play that guitar.
Yeah. But that is it for episode 2 of Rock is a Lady's Modesty. So moving on to the next show, Apocalypse Hotel.
Wow.
Episode 1.
This was a show I had no idea where it was going, and when I saw it, or when I finished watching, I was like, that went completely different than what I thought it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that made me think. I honestly feel like this is going to be the dark horse of the season, and you had every right to send me that trailer and say this one looks kind of interesting, because I just saw the pretty colors and clapped like a seal and was like, yeah, this looks great, I'll play it. But then when the first episode begins and ends, I was like, it's one of these episodes, it's one of these series.
Mm-hmm.
Really good first episode. What I can equate this episode from what I experienced is Wall-E.
Oh, okay.
It's essentially like Wall-E, where the world kind of went to shit and they left Earth because they said, we'll be back once everything gets fixed, we'll come back. Just like Wall-E. And we have robots that are still doing what they were designed to do. Just like Wall-E, where he was cleaning up the trash and everything else with nobody living on it. And like I said, I really saw Wall-E in this episode and was like, that is really good. So that's my impression of the first episode. What about you?
I thought this episode was pretty funny. I didn't know exactly what to expect. It just looked weird, and I was like, based on the trailer, I was like, man, this show looks pretty good. And then it was a show that I seen that not a lot of people were planning to watch, so I was like, shit. I mean, we're KOA. We kind of pick up shows that are odd sometimes, so why not?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what prompted me to check this show out and to suggest it. And yeah, this show was really funny to me. just the whole stupid thing of the doorman continuously open the door when she keeps telling him, hey, we have no guests, can you stop opening the door? And then he's like, no, it is my goal, it is all I am designed to do, I must open the door. And then there was like the stupid thing where he was like, you know what would happen if he said like, if I stop opening doors, I would become rusty. And it's just like, okay, how rusty though? And then he was like, she was like, if you stop opening doors for like 2 hours or something, how long would it take for you to get your groove back? And he's like, 2 years.
It's so over dramatic.
The fuck? It's just opening a door. Like, how is he gonna fuck up? He's going, what am I doing? Who am I?
Where am I? What is this world? Yeah, it doesn't take rocket science, but I love how he just kept overheating, and because they ran out of coolant years ago, they have to use water as a substitute in order to like bring him back. And you know, every time he opens that door, he just dies.
He does it one time, he's just done. She gets the water, and she splashes him so much that he steals the shampoo hat, which makes her.
Oh no!
Which is like the funniest part of the episode to be, because she trips the fuck out. It was so funny because this is where like doing like repetitive stuff is really funny, because when it goes out of whack, there's like, oh, she does like, faucet, no leak, mold, none, shower cow, faucet, no leak, mold, none, shower. Emergency! Where's the shower cow? And she treated it like it was 9/11 or something. She got all the robots together and said, we need to find this shower cap or this hotel is done.
I know, like they were just overwhelmed. Like they ran a tight ship whenever they were working, because again, that's what they were born and bred to do. But yeah, it was when that shower cap went missing. Went through everything. Shower cap. Then you just saw the editing. Shower cap. Shower cap. Yeah, and she just did what's it called? Among Us, where she just pushed the emergency button and everybody went to the middle. It's like, emergency! A shower cap is missing from floor 12. Room 8. It's gone. We got to get it back at all costs.
She tells them to scour the entire world to find the shampoo hat. And then one of the robots suggests, like, can we just make a shampoo hat? She's like, fuck no! The shampoo hat is a part of one of our partners in the company, and we have to make sure we ensure that this company is getting the promotion that we promised them years ago. And it's like, I was like, she's so dramatic. Oh my God.
I know. It's just like they thought that one shower cap was going to bankrupt their entire operation. Like they were just going down. It's like, and I think at one point she even thought that too. She's like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. This is my life's over. But then she saw the shower hat was on Doorman, a robot. And that's when she was just like, there it is.
Which makes me go, when did he steal this? He stands by that door every single second. When did he steal the shampoo hat?
One of two things happen. One, he's lying about crashing out every time he opens the door. Two, he got one of those little robot buddies to get him one, and one of them's not saying anything. It's like, do you know where it is?
It's an inside job.
One of the little guys is, you're in charge for now. I love the little attention to detail where it just shows like receptionist across their forehead.
He's like,
when there's an emergency, they all have like the emergency banner, and like they switch everything. It's like, these are some great robots. They lasted through an apocalypse, hence the name Apocalypse Hotel.
Yeah, I mean, we're everybody's robots or aliens, so we have no human life on this world anymore. Indicative of like all the like how all like the wild plants and stuff are growing, because you just see nothing but green now, because stuff isn't being maintained and whatnot. One weird part of the episode, which I didn't know how to take it at first, was when she was manager lady. I don't think we got a name for her yet, but she was looking. We have a name. Yeah. She was looking for the driller robot, and then we just saw it, and it was just fucking dead. And I was like, wait, someone murdered driller robot. But then she showed a whole bunch of other robots that looked exactly like it. And I was like, oh, I guess it just died, like it ran out of energy or something.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, because they made it apparent to show that collection of robots that didn't work anymore, and I don't know how she was able to bring the bodies all back. I mean, I can only again, robots, they have strength, I would assume, but I don't know what kind of strength to like take a driller robot and bring it back into a hotel basement or whatever. But yeah, it was very ominous and almost kind of like, oh, how tragic. This was our crew when it first started. Now they're all dead. Yeah. Almost kind of like a way to say that their lives are kind of fleeting in a way, and that they could end up just like that.
Yeah. And then it's like, because they don't have a purpose right now, it's as if like their life has been meaningless, because they aren't serving humans anymore. Humans are not on this world or on this planet, and so they're maintaining the hotel and whatnot, but it hasn't been like a fulfilling life for them. I know they're robots, but you got to think like there's some like sentient feelings that are going on with these guys, because they are all hoping for humanity to come back, and even they are starting to lose a little faith. The manager tries to keep up morale and everything, but they're thinking like, yeah, humans aren't coming back.
They left, and then you see in the flashback too, where the guy's like, "I'll be back before you know it. Once Earth like fixes itself up, we'll be right back." Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah. They literally went to get cigarettes, and they never came back.
Makes sense though, because like a virus just swept the whole world, and they couldn't breathe any of the air. They were just die. I mean, they were dying even in like hazmat suits.
Yeah.
So,
That was something I really liked about the intro because I didn't know what to expect of this show. And then it got really doom and gloom at the very beginning where you see it's almost like when you just start working for a company and you see like an instructional video of just basically, congratulations, you're now part of the team. Da, 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 da.
yeah.
And it showed that mixed in with virus, death, and distorted just audio and just static and everything. And I don't know, I just thought that was just really cool. It's kind of the contrast of like, what does a hotel have to do with doom and gloom and all this other shit? But it adds up when the show reaches its climax and ends. I'm like, okay, that's why it's called Apocalypse Hotel. That's clever and really smart. And like I said, I had no idea what this series was going to be going into it. So
Yeah.
this is definitely a surprise for me.
Yeah, I think that was a really great introduction. But the ending of the episode is we got our first guest. Vingengaro Hotel, which is isn't who they expected. We got like an alien. Yeah, we got aliens now. So maybe it seems like the series is going in a direction to where like we get like extraterrestrial life that ends up inhabiting the hotel instead of human life, and because of that they gain their purpose or regain their purpose again.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to see. It's either going to make or break the series, I think, because I thought the first episode was so interesting within itself. Like they could have like done that. I guess you can only do it for a certain period of time, and you always have to introduce something, just like in Wall-E. What was introduced in the movie after he was doing his daily routine? The new robot, Eve, the slimmer, newer, sexier model. That was saying that the robot. Anyway, yeah, you gotta throw in something, and that's what they're doing with the aliens. So they're probably gonna have aliens, and who knows, maybe humans, other type of species. Some deer just start making their way in. It's just what the hell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from this point on. Trayvon said, "Hope the show keeps the same quality. First episode was great." I agree. Definitely has potential. Like the look of it. Hopefully, this show doesn't go astray. This is one of the anime originals that we're watching, and anime originals are very, very, very
notorious
for being bad on the show.
Yeah, but, like it's a golden rule. They always have to start great, and then they just kind of trip over themselves at the end.
The one shining anime original we have is Carol and Tuesday. So, thanks to EA. So, hey, maybe it breaks the curse. Maybe it's the second anime to break the curse.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens. But that was episode 1 of Apocalypse Hotel. We have a series that's near and dear to our hearts that's come back. It's a season 2 of Ranger Rejects, or known as Go Go Loser Rangers, but nobody likes to call it that. It's Ranger Rejects.
Yep.
Or that other one, Setkai, whatever.
Sentai,
blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This is Ranger Rejects Season 2, Episode 1, and we are back, baby. We are back. We are back with D. We are back with a dead keeper, which is the blue keeper. And red keeper is on some fucking Homelander shit.
Yeah.
Like he's become more so this season.
As the boys has been gone for a little while, so they were like, we'll just give you Homelander in the anime version.
Pretty fucking much. I mean, I'm an anime original when it comes to Ranger Rejects. I know you're more of a you read the manga
Mhm.
and whatnot, so you would know if it's going to be accurate or like, just like well kept, or if they skip anything or whatnot. But from what I see in this episode, it's more of what we liked from the first season. So I honestly can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that we start to see, I'm not even going to talk about like the beginning scene with the potato sack guy because I
Oh yeah,
honestly,
that guy.
yeah, I honestly felt like that was a weird thing that they included. But the beginning scene is basically just seeing the aftermath of Blue being gone. We have another Sunday showdown in which it doesn't go well with the Dragon Keepers. Uh, Red gets punched in the face, overreacts, stomps the guy out. They had to put it on a pause screen, and the rest of the Dragon Keepers act recklessly and damn near kill some of the people in the crowd, a la Vegeta, in the Majin Buu
Yeah.
saga. And yeah, overall, man, the Dragon Keepers just don't seem to be as pristine as they used to seem.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when they found out one of them died, it just fucked up with their whole dynamic. Like, not just one person, it affected everyone because I think, they had this deal going for how many years it was with, the aliens or whatever they're called, the D. No, not the D. What is their species called?
Invaders.
Invaders. That's right. With the invaders, and they were going at it for a while, and they thought they had something cool, and then all of a sudden, one of them gets killed by a stronger version of the invaders. I think when you get something like that, it kind of like shows your mortality, and it kind of like puts everything into perspective. And some people react differently. Some people grieve. Some people are angry, and just that dynamic gets thrown off. And I think because I think you asked me this question way back when the first season came out and how it ended. Where what are they going to do with the Blue Keeper? I was saying that D should totally just pretend to be the Blue Keeper, but that never happened. And essentially, it's just they know he's dead, and they're going to try to find a replacement. And it's just very interesting to see what they're going to do with that, especially with everything being in turmoil. I would ask for a refund right away. I was in that seat that got blown the fuck up and almost died. I want a refund now.
That was a part of the show, yeah.
Part of the show, my ass. I didn't have a chance to get my collector's cup away. Now it's melted.
Well, you go as Red and see how that goes.
Oh, fuck. I ain't asking no Red. Dude, you can't even walk and accidentally trip around Red before he literally stomps a mud hole in you and you're dead. Like, he was just, like, he's like, give me my motherfucking tea. Yes, sir. First of all, how this guy even climbed up the ranks to become number 2 is beyond me. And he just like, here's your tea, sir. Whoops. And does the fucking anime cliche, and he gets it all over Red. He's just, 1 second.
I like how they
Just
turned it
beats him
into a
to-
gag.
It was so dark. It was a dark comedy sketch. It really was. Because he beat the shit out of him. You saw the blood splutter. You heard and all the sound effects. And he's just like, meeting adjourned. Oh, God, he's just evil. He's so evil.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the Homelander comparison obviously is not going to be a one-to-one thing. He's not literally the Homelander, the character, but like,
No.
for like what traits are being emphasized when that comparison is being made is the fact that he has this image in the public of being a good guy, and obviously we see the real him, which is someone who uses justice for his own means and is very much, as you said, just like a villain, evil. Like, he's willing to kill people over minor inconveniences, like being, having tea spilt over him. He even went as far as to have the audacity to think about, oh man, I really had a good junior keeper in Himura. And if you remember Himura, he's the one who he killed in the first season for nothing. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's talking about, he's reminiscing over him and how he would have been good
I
as a
miss
junior keeper.
him.
Yeah, it's like, wait, you're the one who killed her, and that's why Yumiko laughs, because Yumiko's kind of fucked up herself, and she laughs.
Yeah. You
And
got
it-
something to say?
Which that was a pretty tense scene. It definitely felt like there was a little more to that. Like maybe even Yumiko was, I don't know, like trying to goad him into something. Because I don't think that just happened just for a comedic thing. But yeah. So Red is unhinged as ever. It's seeming like it's gotten worse because of Blue's death. But yeah, that guy's, he's on something else.
He's a wacko. He goes into a room, watches himself giving speeches and shit, and just quotes it verbatim. He's just like, into the eyes and the force and this. And then I love the shot that they do with this, where you see the half split, where you see his real face and you see the Red Keeper face. And essentially it's saying they're one and the same. One's a fake and one's the real.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Going back, Komachi, the junior keeper for the junior first class, for Blue, the blue-haired midget girl.
Yeah, she was gonna take it up.
Yeah, she resolved to be the next Blue, but all of that got put to a halt because she's a little too short to ride the ride. It was so funny in the unofficial translation for the manga. He didn't say, because in the anime he calls her Pipsqueak. I don't know what he said in the officials, but in the unofficial version he says, when she says, "I'll be the replacement for Blue," blah 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 blah, he says, "Not a chance, midget."
Oh my god. And she just made that pouty, sad face. My
Guess you're
God.
right. I'm gonna get my growth spurt soon.
Yeah, it just like his reasoning behind it was, it would throw off the pose. You'd be too short.
Yeah.
And then that's when the pink guy was thinking, well, then I guess they wouldn't like me because he's like taller than all of them.
Yeah. Which like Blue's reasoning for turning her down is also like, would validate the whole Homelander comparisons, just because it's like, for him, it's not what is best for humanity or for the people he's sworn to protect. It's about whatever sates his ego and whatever just like looks good, because she's very qualified to be in that position. She's not as strong as Blue, but she was strong herself, at least to be able to fight Patora. And
That's right.
and then she kind of just gets passed off because she's short. That's a horrible reason.
Yeah. It's like, you're a valuable asset and you're strong and you could be very good to the team. Nah, she's too short. Next. Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, so it's more it shows like not just with Red too, just like the corruption with the Ranger, or the Rangers in general, of how this whole thing is more politics than anything. It's not about necessarily power. It's not necessarily about who cares about humanity more, because a lot of these Rangers are pieces of shit. It's about who looks good and can push the brand as far as they can, because this is a brand. This is not like some service that you're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy stuff. It's their world that they created. Their money-making machine.
Mm-hmm.
When they made a deal with the invaders. And now the invaders are like, we've had enough of this. You guys are reaping the benefits of it, and we're getting jack squat. Or you get to live. If you call that living.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, that was all nice. Very sick, twisted kind of stuff. Then we're reintroduced to Mr. D himself, the main character, D, and incest sister. See, Tactics would have a field day if he was here right now. He would be going crazy, and not in a good way, folks. Trust me, he's not one of those. He hates this character.
She's terrible.
She's so bad. She has, I don't know if that's in her mind or if that's real, body pillows of
real.
her brother.
No, that's real.
Ew, that's disgusting.
Because you saw the junior the first class guy outside her room, and he's hearing her say all this stuff.
Oh, that's right. You're right. And he's just like, do I want to be a Pink Ranger anymore?
Yeah, can I get a transfer? Shit, they're probably gonna put me in the red.
Honestly, can I transfer to anywhere but red? You know what? Forget it. I'll stay with pink. I'd rather have a brother con than a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Those are your choices, by the way. A brother con or a psycho.
I mean, it seems like Yellow's. We don't know much about him. All we know is he's always smiling. Every time we see him, he's green. We haven't.
I don't think we've really seen much of Green.
Yeah. And then Blue's dead.
Blue, we saw a lot more. Yeah, Blue's dead, but we saw Blue, and he was kind of rough around the edges. Yeah. But we understood why. But yeah, he's deader than dead. He's dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, that introduces, not introduces, but they go on a date, and they kind of like walk around, do their thing. But then we're introduced to that one dude that got tackled by some like cops, and he was doing some investigating because his brother got spirited away or something.
Yeah, that's the story he gave, at least, Midori.
Yeah, but then these are the best, either the best or worst kind of cops. They tackled him and they got him. They're like, yeah, we got you. But then the guy's like, or D's just like, let him go. And, Pink Ranger's also like, yeah, let him go. Thank you so much. I did a background check on him. He's kind of a bad person.
Kind of lied to us about everything that he's
so why did we not check that before we let him go?
Yeah, you probably should have did that before you tackled him, but
that too. Like I said, these are the worst cops ever. I can just imagine just hearing just hearing tubas playing behind them while they're playing. They're just so incompetent.
Yeah, so that's seemingly an important character. But what we learned about that whole situation is that there are children that are being spirited away. Whereas the cops believed it was a person that was doing it, just straight up kidnapping them. We see that Cicera, the pink dragon keeper, explains that it's actually a monster that the Rangers have been investigating that is behind it. We, of course, don't see this monster, but this kind of ushers us into this next arc where we're trying to find a monster that is spiriting away these children. Why is this happening? What is this monster's goal? We don't know. But more importantly, what we get from this whole thing is D run. We get to talk about this. D, runs off and runs into the warm elastic embrace of Angel, with a fitting name, of course, and bounces off of it and flies to the fucking other side of the country.
My God. First of all, when you see their height differential, D is significantly taller than Angel. Angel's a shorty. So that means D had to have been running at a 45-degree angle like this, and then all of a sudden wasn't looking, and then just
Boink.
boom, just bounced off those suckers. And mind you, I know the lady listeners out there. When you get hit in the boobs like that, it's not fun. Your boobs are very sensitive. It's like with a dude getting kicked in the nuts. You hit like that, ow, that's gonna hurt. She's just like, tee-hee. Tee-hee, I got my sports bra, tee-hee.
Boobs are just like springy, like it's like some cupcake type of. It's like some Majin Buu type shit. That's what you expect from Majin Buu. Like he pokes out his belly, boo, bluey.
Yeah, but that in anime, those are boobs. It's that. I mean, he was more impressed that his face didn't get like exposed because you know how sensitive his body is. He'll get exposed. But apparently the secret to not getting exposed, being an invader, is boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs are the secret. And Angel, she to her credit, she didn't go hentai, baka, and smack him 2,000 feet into the air, and then the sparkle happens. Ding. She just went, oh, it's you. Do you enjoy the show?
I like how he just thanked her. Because they could have did a moment like that because he thanked her. He was just like, thank you, Angel. She didn't really like go, what are you thanking me for? Because they could have did that. She was like, all right, whatever. Yeah. They go on and because they were called by Hisui. And Hisui is the
who was totally not sleeping.
Oh yeah, she's not. Of course, she's not sleeping. No. But she is the junior first class for the Green Squadron, and she personally assigns D and Angel to her squadron, which is the Green Squadron. And
they now have a color.
Yeah, we are Green Squad now.
Ooh, they're green.
He thought that he was going to be in red based on what happened with his, with the screening initially. And also, I think he just wanted it, considering that he has that whole beef with red. But
yeah,
he gets the green, and he's disappointed initially. But Hisui reveals that every squadron has a goal in mind, and the Green Squadron's goal is to kill executive invaders specifically. They're supposed to find them.
How convenient.
Kill them. I mean, yeah, very, very convenient for him. Like, that's what he's looking for. And with this whole plot of them trying to find that monster that's been spiriting people away, that is most likely an executive monster as well. So it's seeming that those plot lines are going to merge and become something. But man, we're finally here. We're finally here. I can't say too much, but I mean,
I was gonna say your favorite character. Are they Green Squadron? Green Rangers, I guess I should say.
I mean, you already called it when it happened. Like Kanan Hisu is my favorite character in the show. So,
okay.
I mean, you're going to see why soon. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, she's your favorite, but this season is going to give us the reason as to why she is.
Yeah. Or at least cool. Like you'll maybe see the perspective. But yeah, Kanan is super cool character.
And then they just go ahead and they cut that whole part that you love the most about her out just because. You'd be like, kill the show.
Erase it.
Kill the show. I don't care what happens. I'm like, what? I like the show. No, they got rid of it. Kill the show.
Which they have like the beginning of the whole thing with how they were reacting towards D and all of that stuff. The whole everything that happened with Red in the beginning, that was 20 chapters beyond what happened with what we're getting now. I know that's like weird, but the way that the anime is doing it and structuring it, it's not actually that weird. But yeah, they've reordered stuff already because the whole thing with Red that takes place in like chapter 70 something, like around like 73. And the current stuff that we're getting right now in regards to Hisui, Angel, and D happens around like chapter 50 something. So, yeah.
So they kind of switched it around.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It still makes sense, so it's not one of those things I'm going to complain about unless they just fuck up everything, but it's fine right now.
You ruined it!
You
Well.
bastards!
Well, but so far I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Very, very interesting arc. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. And I mean, now we got a home. Now we can actually just focus on one specific squadron rather than having a whole bunch of characters that may or may not be important. We got our own. We got our own team.
Yeah, we're on green, and it's him and Angel. So fuck all those other characters. Also, where is the brother? You know, the one that D took image of and everything. I feel like we haven't seen him since season 1, and he's just like chilling.
Sakurama.
That's his name. I want to say it. I think it kind of like showed it in the credits or whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Aaron in the chat. Naruto run airbags. That's what boobs are.
Oh, we've been using them wrong.
I've been using them wrong too. Just one of those getting crashes. Boom. Now I get it.
Wow, Einstein's like, shit.
I now understand.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for Ranger Reject. Yeah. Very good introduction episode, but man, I can't wait till we get to the stuff with the best SWAT, the Green SWAT. So
Green SWAT.
Let's talk about
Sasuke's at a loss for words, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about The Future Diary, episodes 2 and 3. Some high quality class episodes here. We're going to start with episode 2. Satsuki, I don't know if you knew this, but there was a character in here that totally didn't look like a villain at all. And our main character, Yuki, was just like, oh, you need directions? Well, see, go down that hall over there, and you'll be able to find your old buddy pal. Wait, what'd you say your name was? I'm going to kill you.
You know what's the crazy thing about the show?
What's that?
I am starting to feel more sympathetic towards Yuki and hate everybody else that's not Yuki. Like, Yuki actually has a lot of reasonable responses to the stuff that goes on, especially with Yuno thus far. Like,
oh, for sure.
I like the fact that he's just like, he calls it for what it is. He's like, yo, this bitch is crazy. And like, he starts to think that maybe she could be seen in a different light because she's, you know, she has that episode, you know, the where they're on a date, and you know, he's like, maybe, I don't know, kind of cute, I guess.
Cute. She's kind of cute whenever she's not angry and psycho. Yeah,
but it makes sense though, considering his age too, because we got to remember, like, he's a 14-year-old kid. So he doesn't have that maturity level to understand, like, those red flags, they're red for a reason.
And this girl gives him free kisses.
Yeah.
And he doesn't freak out. How many characters do we know that get kisses as often as this guy? And then they like jizz in their pants and bloody noses and all that kind of stuff. He's just like, she's kind of cute. and she randomly kisses me for no reason, and I'm not even dating her. Cute.
We got so much to. Oh, let's talk about episode 2.
Yeah, let's start with episode 2. Like I said, the most obvious villain in all of the episode walks in. I'm like, I feel like I even knew it back then when I first saw it. I was like, she's one of them. Look at how she's dressed. She's in a maid outfit. She's got her hair done all like that. I'm like, she's evil.
I think this is a problem with Future Diary in general. Whenever they introduce a new character, you're expected to think they're a Future Diary holder. And that's because they have like no type of mystery or intrigue with who these users are. And I'm not saying that these users aren't veiled in secrecy, but it's like by the time they're introduced, like they pretty much tell you they're Future Diary holders anyways. Like she shows up and then, I mean, we did see her last episode to be fair, but she shows up and 2 minutes after she shows up, she's like, yeah, I'm a Future Diary holder. And I'm like, wasn't the whole point of the show, or wasn't like the premise of the death game for other people to find out that they're Future Diary holders, but they just straight up tell everybody that they're Future Diary holders anyways?
Right. They definitely kind of, I don't know if it was her or if it was just like, that's how the game is played and other people play it that way. But yeah, she just definitely gave herself away in a heartbeat. It was just like, surprise. I got bombs strapped to me and everywhere in this school somehow.
I'm going to be asking why a lot.
No, you and me both.
Or how? How the fuck did she set all these explosives in a school? You don't have much time to do this, mind you.
She had to have like done it the night before or something. I don't know. Maybe she just had an inkling of who Yuki was and was just like, time to set up these bombs. Yeah, no one's gonna totally notice or even like question this fucking box with a countdown timer on it or anything.
But the problem with this whole thing is that she suspected that it might be Yuki. So if she just suspected it, how the hell did she come up with this big ass plan to set all these explosives on the school? And then she goes like, oh yeah, Yuki's not even my main target. And then I go, you killed like 100 students though. What the fuck was the purpose of all that if he wasn't even your target? And then you didn't even kill him. How do you not kill him with all those explosives? I understand. There's a whole thing where she may be more cautious because there's other Future Diary holders. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck didn't you kill him? I don't care. I'm going to get that perspective, but that still doesn't make sense.
She literally did a fucking I don't know what you want to call it, like some kind of like natural disaster at a school, and didn't even like kill the person that she was like after.
She killed like 100 other students though.
She killed 100 other students, and the other part of it wasn't even because of her. It was because of Yuno. Yuno was the one that triggered that too.
Well, okay, that's still Uryu's fault, but she killed other people before then because the initial bomb it blew up like a portion of the top half of the school, where it was like a whole bunch of people died from that. The Yuno scene where she's trapped in the classroom because they capture Yuki, and then she's like, all right, everybody, stay in your seats. I got motion bombs. If you move out the classroom, everyone's gonna blow up. And then Yuki's like, or Yuno's like, how dare they trap my boyfriend? They gave him up. How dare he pass through this? You don't deserve to live. And then runs and trips off the fucking bombs.
I mean, what a way to go. Just imagine you're just like trying to survive the day. It's like, it's a fucking Tuesday. I don't even want to be here at school. It sucks. And some random girl in class that you don't even hardly know kills you because she runs away. Oh my God. Like I said, what a way to go.
It was so much going on with it. Future Diary. I'll give it that. It is entertaining. It was so much going on. I don't think we can properly unpack everything that happened. But because throughout the whole ordeal is helping Yuki out, because we find out one of the weakness of Yuki's diary is that it's indiscriminate. It was called an indiscriminate diary. So he doesn't put his perspective in his diary. His diary dots everything that he sees, but it never shows his reaction to these events. So he doesn't know whether he's going to get hurt or harmed, or he'll know when he dies, when he gets to dead end. But other than that, he doesn't know like the extent of how he's going to be affected by what those events hold that he sees. So Yuno pairs her diary, which tells her everything about Yuki, with his diary to basically make them invincible, so to speak. That doesn't help them from getting ambushed by a couple of middle schoolers, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Aaron in the chat says, Future Diary had so much potential, but it lacks something. I don't know what.
A writer. A good writer.
It had originality. I will give it that. It had originality out the wazoo. But I agree. I feel like they needed to rein it in a bit and have some kind of writer to make sense of some things, because this is jumping way, way, way ahead. But I'm going to say it anyway. If you have to have somebody explain something after the fucking credits at the end of what's happening in your series, you're not doing it right.
And it didn't even
to make
sense.
It make sense. No, it didn't. Because it was just something that was just like funny. She's like, I murmur, I'm in a pool, I'm in a tube, inner tube, and this is how I explain everything. And I agree. The way she explained it, I was like, that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
but okay.
Because what she was trying to explain was like how Uryu knew that Yuki was a Future Diary holder, and her explanation was, Uryu was like into the underground, and actually she's a criminal. And one character that we haven't talked about yet is fourth, Keigo Kurusu, the policeman. And then she was like, Kurusu was looking into the murderer, which was third, Hayama, Yukitero's homeroom teacher. And because he was looking into it, Uryu was also looking into Kurusu, looking into that. And I was like, wait, that doesn't make fucking sense. Uryu's not a policeman. How the fuck would she know how his case is going? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't get that either. No. Yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, we get a fourth person in here who's a policeman, and he was good for like 2.3 seconds. Then he decided to change on a dime and go, well, Yuki, them's the breaks, and just points the gun right at him.
That was so funny. Yuki looked at him like he was a savior. He was like, then he just, sorry, kid. Nothing personal.
Like, right. I was just like, damn, that was short-lived. Also, this lady, I'm talking about ninth, she planted all these mines. Did any mine go off?
No. It didn't go off because remember, because she planted it in the field. Yeah, and I don't know how the fuck she did all this. But
in the strawberry fields.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Beatles. She plants it in the strawberry fields, and remember, Yuno was giving out dimes to Yuki so he wouldn't trip him off. She was like, left, go right. left, go right, go right. So
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I only said that because I just remembered no mine going off, and I was thinking to myself, did she even plant any mines? Was that all a lie? But you're right. Did say that stuff.
we got to talk about the why did
Which
Uryu
why?
have missiles in her pussy?
It's part of her diary, Satsuki. Come on. Her diary is the pussy missile.
It's like some JoJo Power. This show, man, it's offensive with what it thinks it can get away with. She gets stabbed in the eye by Yuki. It's like, ah. And then she goes like, and then missiles lit. I'm talking about 6 missiles. Like she just had a kill streak on Call of Duty. Shoot out from under her dress, out of her vagina. And then a fucking motorcycle comes out of nowhere amidst the smoke.
Where the fuck that motorcycle come from?
And then
I know you said the missile in her vagina.
Yeah,
that motorcycle.
It also came from her vagina. And then big vagina. She is in slow motion and she's talking to them and she's like, my diary is the escape diary. And I went,
Why would you tell him that?
well, not only that, but bitch, that don't explain how you got all that.
Right.
What the bitch, that don't explain where the motorcycle came from. What am I supposed to say? You plan to escape, so you plan to put the motorcycle in your vagina? What am I supposed to do with that information?
Diary. If things get dire, what am I to do? Because you're the escape diary. Plant some smoke missiles in your ass and your motorcycle in your vagina. That's a goddamn good plan. I'm going to do that right now. And she's like hammering it up there. Getting it up there. Up there.
I just don't understand. There was no motorcycle right there.
No, there wasn't. The motorcycle just whipped it out of her ass. Seriously. I heard the expression pull things out of your ass before, but this is literally something that was pulled out of her ass.
It's so outrageous. I just can't. I can only sit there and respect it because this show did not give a fuck. They barely tried to explain that. They just said escape diary, and I went, that makes no fucking sense, but fine. You got it. I can't sit here and dwell on it too much because it's so much other stuff that happened that I could pick apart. That's the thing with this episode. It is so much that I'm not talking about that could go like, why did they do this? And I can't do it just because it's too much.
We'd literally be here all night if we did. Why this? Why that? But yeah, it's insane. I definitely remember when that's one of my other memories of this series, other than the face with was when Yuki stabbed Ninth in the eye. And again, I watched this subbed when I was.
Yeah.
What?
No, that's what she said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought something happened to the stream. It freaked me out for a second. I'm like, oh no. But no, yeah, like it was literally instant wait, and then like shout out to the lady that did it in Japanese. She just gave out this blood curdling scream when she got stabbed in the eye. Just really like belted, and I always remember that because I was like, damn. I would yell that loud too. But yeah, if I got stabbed in the eye too. But I guess that was kind of like the main parts of this particular episode, was just introducing Ninth, introducing Fourth, crazy bomb explosions, smoke vaginas. It's just a bunch of weird fucking shit.
One thing they also were doing with Yuno and Yuki's relationship was they were showing like Yuki reluctantly accepting her help because he's very wary of Yuno. But given his situation, like he's not fit for a death game. So he's like, well, shit. I mean, she seems to be prepared for this way more than I am, so I'm going to accept her help. And he even talks about how he tries to convince himself how he's not using her and whatnot, but obviously he's using her.
I'm not using her. I'm not using her.
He even phrased it. He said, "I'm not using her. I'm utilizing her." And I went, well, you know, you're using the same base word, right? It's like saying, I'm not fucking her. I'm fucking her. What?
I'm making passionate, sweet love. I'm penetrating her. Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not taking advantage. I'm just shut up.
I mean, but I guess I get it. Like he's trying to say, like, I'm not maliciously trying to lead her in a certain direction. It's just that if she wants to act this way, why not? You know, why not use it for my own benefit, like that type of thing. Like I said, I feel like I understand Yuki a lot better. Being more of a grown up, because I think a lot of the things that goes on with him are justified. And most of my issues with this show thus far is going to get worse with Yuki, and he will get criticized later. But most of my problems right now are not with Yuki. They are with everything else that happens in the story.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy story. Episode 2, like I said, if it had you by episode 1, I think episode 2, albeit you were confused, I think it was entertaining all the same. You know what I mean?
I think it would hook a lot of the younger audience. Like,
oh, for sure,
they would be like, hot terrorist lady. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could see a bunch of Gen Zs just being into the series where they're just like, hot terrorist lady, pink girl that likes me, but she's kind of freaky. It's what's the word? It's for a bunch of horny teens. The series is for horny teens.
It gives you that junkie action too. So like that, we can see why it was as popular as it was.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But Yuki and Yuno are to become one July 28th in Yuno's happy ending.
Yeah, so
she's gonna give him a happy ending.
I mean,
I'm not using her, Satsuki. I'm utilizing that happy ending.
Well, yeah, but that part adds on to the mystery, because it's like there's a couple questions that come with it. Why is Yuno's phone showing this? We know that she has a future diary, but seemingly this diary is only showing the date of July 28th, which hasn't happened yet, of course. It's like 3 months prior, some shit like that.
I think so, yeah.
And it shows a happy ending, which we'll talk more about the next episode because it changes. But it's like, all right, what is this happy ending? Why is it showing of a date of July 28th when her future diary isn't even supposed to go that far? Like, what the fuck is going on with that exactly? You know, as like I said, adds on to that whole mystery.
One little other critique. I mean, I know there's a lot of critiques in this episode.
Yeah.
Would you be as keen to if there's a crazy, hot, sexy terrorist lady that's like, bring him to me and we'll be fine? You just grab this guy and just serve him up to this woman on a silver platter?
Well, I feel this is where I'm not going to really criticize the show for that. I feel like there is an avenue to go, okay, the kids are so desperate after seeing what she did already, because it would be one thing if she just threatened them and that was it. But seeing what already happened, where explosions happened, kids died, I could see kids being desperate enough to go like, all right, bro, if she's all that, if this is all she wants, fuck it, take it. I could definitely see that happening. I think it would be different if the teachers did it, but because the kids did it, I was like, I get it.
Good point. Yeah, good point. Then, then that whole plan went to shit when just ran through everything.
It's the fact that she cursed all of them before she did it. She was like, "You didn't care about Yuki. This is what you deserve."
Oh my god. How did you die? Some crazy bitch just ran through a motion mine.
This is jumping ahead. The fact that they tried to redeem this character Uryu is insane to me. This is jumping ahead. But they tried to redeem this character. And she is, for this, I understand we have characters like Vegeta or whatever, blah, 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 blah. This bitch, she was like, no, man. No.
But Satsuki, she's hot. That's a redeeming quality.
No.
Come on, Satsuki, you're a hater.
she is terrible. And I think when I watched Future Diary, she was my favorite character. I'm pretty sure.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. Oh man. Well, episode 3. It's known as the date episode. La 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 la.
I have so many issues with this episode.
It was so wholesome, Satsuki.
No. I'm not even. That's the thing. I'm not even going to what actually happened. I'm talking about what didn't happen. Half this school blew the fuck up. Why are people treating this like it was some snow day at school or some shit? Where some people didn't show up.
These days.
People died, and the reaction is just like, they even say, "Oh, the school is closing down to do some repairs." And I said, "Some repairs?
Some repairs? Yeah, like picking up some body parts."
What the fuck? Who's going to the school after this? This is
all we needed to have was just somebody that was like, "Oh man, I really wanted to go today. Shucks."
They had their version of 9/11 at the school, and they're treating it like it was some other day. Like, even a school shooting, you would think would be treated with more. I don't know, like we gotta give the kids like some therapy, close the school down, talk to the parents. None of that happens. They go like, "Yeah, we gotta fix the fucking toilet that blew up." Oh, Jesus. Gotta go to the
Oh god. Oh man, school's already understaffed and under budget as it is. We gotta build ourselves a brand new school. Shit.
Just like they should have to go to a whole different school. There's no way the school should be reopening after a tragedy where hundreds of students blew up, and just not even mentioning how the hell they're going to fix that. How the hell do you fix that in like a week or a month, whatever they're going to take?
I have no idea. I agree though. That is some absolutely insane, insane shit that they didn't really. Some bad things happened today. Oh well. Carnival. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my
god. Yeah, I know that is bad. That is bad. A bunch of families are without their kids today, and they're treating it like somebody had a fucking hangnail or something. It's just no big deal. These pesky hangnails. Oh, the school blew up? God. My son died? Fuck.
Yuki's parents aren't talking to him. The school isn't contacting him about like some therapy, because there would be something. And I'm not saying that would be interesting to watch. I'm just saying, if you're going to have, and that's my problem with the show a lot of times, it has a lot of these events that happen that should have dire consequences or a certain reaction that's warranted. And you wait for it and it never happens. And you go, what universe does the show exist in? A universe where nobody cares if someone dies? That's what it almost feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Uryu enacting this plan in the first place, because she said she did it to lure out Fourth and whatever, but consider what she's doing. She reveals herself to be a future diary holder for no fucking reason.
Yep.
Blows up a school, which would get her all the media attention. There's no helicopters that fly around her for whatever reason, which makes no sense.
Nope.
This should make her a global terrorist, which I guess it does, because the police look for her afterwards. But it shouldn't just be like the local police. It should be every fucking faction of the government looking for her, because she
Lazarus.
Yeah, Lazarus should be in here too. Because like I said, it is literally 9/11 on a school. Do you know how crazy it is for something like this to happen? This is insane.
That's unheard of. I mean, hell. 95, the Oklahoma City bombing was considered fucking insane.
Yeah.
And that was 30 years ago. But if that happened to a school, I know shootings happen at schools, and it's tragic and it's awful and it's terrible. A bombing of that magnitude at a school would get weeks, if not months, of just like news.
Yeah.
Of who did it, why they did it. They glorify the fucking person and hope that fucker rots in hell, whatever. Just things like that. I agree. This is just another Tuesday night for the school.
That's my problem with it. It just feels like, all right, next episode. Hey, Yuki, go on a cute date. Also, this date wasn't cute.
Oh, come on. Sasuke was wholesome. She lost her top, and, they went to a haunted house, and they went on a roller coaster and shit.
The only thing that was cute about the date was the whole, I guess, haunted house scene, I guess. Because she was scared and clinging onto his arm. That was about it. Because the losing top thing, just like, all right, let's put some fan service in there, make him horny for her.
And have him drown to death, apparently.
just got so horny, just fuck.
He got so horny, he fucking died. There goes another. There goes another user.
Like this date becomes less cute whenever she. Okay, Yuki says he doesn't want to go to the planetarium. They ride a Ferris wheel.
I want to go to the stupid planetarium. You can't make me.
Yeah,
he was like overly bad over the planetarium.
And then, Yuki just straight up asks, this is why I say like Yuki isn't as bad as I thought, because he just straight up asks, why the fuck are you following me? Like, what about me do you like exactly? And she sidesteps the question, and she goes, hey,
Kiss.
Did she kiss him before that happened? I thought she
did it after. Like,
okay.
she said, I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was just like, no matter what, I always like you. Oh, no, it was, they were like in some class, and he was trying to, okay, continue.
Yeah, because Yuno goes like, why don't you want to go to the planetarium? But then he was like, I don't like it. And she's like, no, you love planetariums. And he's like, how the fuck do you know that? And she's like, you don't remember? We met before. And then they have that backstory.
Why do men never forget or never remember shit in anime, and women have the memory of a goddamn elephant where they never forget? I swear to God.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did he forget a moment where some random pink-haired girl wrote down that she wants to be his wife?
You mean that doesn't happen to you on a weekly basis, Satsuki? Come on.
I mean, not anymore.
Not anymore.
But I would think that that's something that I would remember. Especially when it happened a year ago.
Right. It's like the problem I had with Elfenlied. How the fuck do you forget a pink-haired girl with horns that killed your sister and father? It just slips my mind. The same could happen here, Sasuke. I mean, come on. I think you're being a little too harsh. Where, you have This girl who says, I want to be your wife. And you just, first of all, who answers a question like that where you just go, yeah, girl, let's get married. Just nonchalantly.
He said, yeah, he says, maybe when we're older. And he was like, then we go into present time. He's like, I didn't think she was being for real. Nobody would answer that question like that. Everybody would go, what the fuck?
Yes.
I don't know you.
Right. It's like marriage. Isn't it? Don't you think that's a little bit weird to be asking me about marriage? That's a normal answer. That's a normal response for that situation. Nobody would go, oh, yeah, when we get older, stranger, I don't even fucking know. Jesus. Yeah, this damn show.
And I feel like they tried to make that moment sweet because he talks about how he can't go to the planetarium with his parents. They got divorced. So what he was planning, when he was planning going to the planetarium, everything got ruined because of their divorce. And then Yuno suggests that they go to the planetarium. He's like, I don't know you. And then she's like, oh, come on. You gotta live a little. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like, yo, that's why I'm being so sympathetic towards Yuki, because I think his responses are so warranted, and he has the correct responses in some instances. Not with the whole maybe in a couple years stuff, but he's very weirded out by that much is clear.
Yeah.
And he even says he was like, you're cute and everything, but I just feel like you're hiding something from me. And then she's
I
like,
think that's when she kissed him.
Yeah, she was like, oh yeah, I'm hiding this from you. I was like, oh Lord.
When in doubt, give him a smooch. Especially a virgin. It's like putty in their hand.
Yeah. But yeah, it was one of those moments where I feel like the series is trying to be sweet, and I was like, yeah, this is not sweet. This is just, I mean, to his credit. Yeah, maybe to his credit, maybe that's what they're trying to go for. Where it's like this is veiled as sweetness from Yuki's perspective, but from the audience perspective, we're kind of horrified from it because it just shows stalker obsessive tendencies. Which, I mean, that much is very clear. Something is very off with this character.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. She has a secret. She, for some reason, really is into him because she randomly went up to him, said, let's get married. Oh, I know you like planetariums. That's not normal behavior. That's one of those things where you look at somebody and go, are you okay?
Yeah.
Did I do something to you? To be honest, someone ever did something to me like that, and they, especially in high school, if somebody said that they liked me and they wanted to go out with me, I would think that they were joking. I would think that this is a joke. Somebody's recording it. I'm going to be put on blast. But no, it's to him. It's just, that's a weird thing to say. Oh well, yeah. Let's wait in a couple of years, sweetie.
Again, to Yuki's credit, he didn't take it serious in the moment. I still don't agree with her response, but he didn't take it serious. So
yeah,
Yuki. Definitely not a character I like, so to speak, but Yuki has been very reasonable as of episode 3, of course. But we go further in the episode. Yuno invites Yuki to her house.
Oh no.
She has no light, no electricity, apparently. She's using candles and shit.
I thought that was kind of weird too.
Yeah, that would have been a red flag in and of itself for me. I'd have been like, what?
Why is it so dark in here?
Yeah.
And what did she say? She said like the electricity was out or something.
I don't remember what the hell she said. But even Yuki was being suspicious, like, and then she has like a single apple that she's like, let me cut this for you. And I would have been like, yeah, this sounds like I'm about to be assimilated in that Resident Evil Biohazard family. I'm out.
It reminded me, once again, bringing up Higurashi, when the main guy essentially from Higurashi, whenever he like got food from all the neighborhood and everything, and it was like needles
Yeah.
inside the food and everything. I was thinking she was fixing to like put some like razor blades or something shady or sharp in there, and I don't know, some reason I got that feeling. Again, maybe it was because it was like dark in there, and she's like, "Let me cut that apple for you." I'm just like, I'm not hungry for an apple anymore, but I do want to go to the bathroom. Where's your bathroom? It's down this really extremely long hallway and to the left. Don't go right. You go right, everything gets fucked. Okay. I'm going to go right anyway. Oh, and he went right. And lo and behold, it was hard to make out. But from what I could see, it looked like dead corpses?
Yeah.
He didn't have to go to the bathroom after that. I think he went automatically.
I was about to say, I think that was a one-way trip right there.
That was a... Well, this has been fun. I don't have to go to the bathroom anymore. And stay the hell out of my life. See you later. Bye.
Yeah. So he finds the bodies or whatever, and then everybody's diary updates, and then Deus Ex Machina is like praising him. Yo, I don't know why he was so hyped for that.
He found dead bodies. I have an erection. Oh my god. I agree. Why was he happy for that? Nothing happened to anyone's diary when all these explosions and school 9/11 happened, but then we find dead bodies and whoa.
I think what it is that it's like it was something because it was so significant. It changes everybody's future, right? So he found like some, I don't know, some type of causality shit where it's like, all right, this is this is a big news for everybody. This is changing the whole course of everybody's life, which it does that. We see everybody's future diary updated, and we see specifically with her happy ending that we saw in last episode disappears. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's it disappeared. Yuki is it doesn't really show what happened after that. Oh wait, no, did it show him running out of the house?
Yeah, he runs out, goes to his house, and
that's what I thought.
Oh
yeah, opens the fucking flap and says,
"Good night,
can I come
love.
in?" Oh my
Sweet
god,
dreams.
that would send a shiver down my fucking spine. That is nightmare shit. You see dead bodies in some cute but crazy girl's house, run all the way to your home. She knows where you live, knows everything about you, and then says, "Good night, my love, sweet dreams." What do you do? What do you do at that point? You're just like, police?
He can't do anything. Like, she has a diary that updates her anytime anything to do with him. That he was scared when oh my god. He was scared.
Get that update. No. I'm sorry.
He was talking about it in an episode 2 where he's like, he couldn't even like pretend, because she was texting him. He said she texted him like 40 times or something, and he was like, he couldn't even like pretend that he was asleep or anything because she would know he was awake. So it's like he can't even lie or anything or give an excuse because she's going to know. So I mean, again, I sympathize with Yuki, and I just feel bad for him in this moment. I'm like, oh my god, what you said? What the hell do you do about a situation like this? He's dealing with a murderous girl that's in love with him. She seems to be his only way to win this death game because otherwise he's not really adept at it. And it's like when you're only, I mean, it's Stockholm syndrome. It's like when you're only when the only person that you have seemingly is the only one that can help you, but they're so toxic, what do you do? It feels like you have no way out, no way out of it, so you just stick with them. And I think that's what you get with like she basically makes it to where she's the only one that can help him do something, and he's essentially like funneled into a corner where she ends up being the only person that he goes to for help.
Yeah. Sad and crazy. That was pretty much it with Yuki and Yuno. There was a side story that involved Ninth and some random dude with, I don't know what it is with people that have bags over their head this season, but that's what's thing. It's a seasonal thing, I guess. He essentially takes her and drugs her and has the power to manipulate, I guess, like seeing things, and that's a scary fucking power right there, because she thought she had her diary the whole time. It was just a piece of wood, and he wanted to get some information from her. He opens her eye that has a hole in it and decides to start digging it out for answers. And I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh my god. Yeah. That's so sick.
Yeah, just plucks that old eye out, switch it out for you.
Switch it out for a new one. Here's your just a nice little marble eyeball. There you go. And it's just like some random black, like one that you put like on a bear or something. I don't know, like a bear doll. Creepy stuff. Or like a Coraline eye with a button. That's something crazy too. But yeah, that kind of happened with her. I mean, that whole thing, we kind of discussed it already, where it was just the local sheriff. The local police department was looking for not the whole, the domestic terrorism, FBI, nothing. No, just well, Barney, you might as well go ahead and look for her. Oh, I don't want to do it. Okay. Are you out here? I can't find you.
But that's another thing too, that we get this dude, he's another future diary holder, and mind you, there's like what? How many are there? Like,
it's like 18? No, 16? I can't remember the number, but it's like a big number.
I want to say it was like 14. Let me see. Future diary user. It goes up to... It's only 13.
Oh, of course, because it's got to be the unlucky number 13, of course.
So it's like, we already got 6 of these guys? Bro,
so that means there's 7 more left. Yeah, going quick.
Yukitaro, Yuno, Hiyama dead, Kurusu, Uryu, and now this guy.
Yep, that's 6. 7 more to go.
Yeah, I felt like they could have did something better as far as uncovering these guys and trying to find out who's a future diary user, rather than just putting them in random situations where they interact with future diary users without...
They just so happen to get and meet them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the big thing to take away with these 3 episodes. We have 6 people that we've just unveiled, and they just so happen to know that the other person was also a diary user. How? Reasons.
Yeah, and it takes out that whole intrigue where they just last episode 1, where they're like, yeah, you had to find them. Well, shit, it's not hard. All they had to do was walk outside, and they probably just gonna stumble upon them.
Shit, they'll trip, and then they'll fall right into one.
Yeah,
that's all. Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's essentially it.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah, this wasn't episode. This wasn't episode 1. Episode 1 had its problems, but I think it just did a good job of being a introductory episode, um, building up intrigue, setting up the mystery, showing you the characters, what it could be, the potential, and everything. Episode 2 and 3 shows you that the potential that they showed in episode 1 is going to be squandered, and it's going to get worse.
Yeah, there's that potential. There's that intrigue that we originally had. I feel like it's all gone now. Not that it's gone per se. Again, I'm just trying to think of it as if I watched this for the first time, and been a long time for me. But it was still there. But it was more like, what are they going to do with this now? Like, what's going to happen? Is this going to get better, or is this going to get worse? I mean, we know obviously we know what happens. It gets worse, but I'm wanting to know what the falling off point was. Like, what's the moment where we go, that's it? That was when Future Diaries fell off a cliff.
Honestly, I think it just, I don't think it falls off a cliff, because for you to fall off a cliff, that would mean that you had a height that you maintained and then plummeted. I think this series progressively tumbles, and then it tumbles faster and faster. Like, I already think we're tumbling right now, to be honest.
Okay. We're in the, we had like a good, like, I don't know, just somebody threw a baseball up in the air. That was episode 1. Woo! And now episode 2, we're coming down. Episode 3, oh shit. And then like the rest of the series is going down through the floorboard and going through the center of the earth.
Yeah. I won't, we won't get into anything that happens, but man, to think that this might be still one of the tamer parts of the series is actually insane.
Yeah. Great.
But that is it for Future Diary episode 3. And we do not have any questions.
Nope. That I would say that is also it for the King of Anime podcast. We appreciate everybody that came over and basically said hello to us. I'm going to drop in the chat our Blue Sky. I'm going to drop in the chat our Patreon. Expect something on there really soon. Sasuke and I were teasing it last week. We watched it this past Friday, and we will be talking about it at some point soon. There's no date, but you'll know if you are a Patreon, because we have a backlog of stuff on there. We talk about Watamote. We have a drunken podcast. We talk about Pokemon, video games, Madoka Magica. I think that's the extent of what we talk about. And we have one more coming up here pretty soon. So look out for that. I am Everything Animated, so you can subscribe to my channel. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, not for my channel, but I want to do a Lazarus thing, like a first impressions thing, and put it on this particular channel.
Okay, you're going for it.
So, yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something freeform and edit it and just try to experiment and just do what I do, because I think it's worth the watch. I mean, as you've heard us discuss it, I think it's worth the watch. And I don't know, if I don't do it in 2 episodes, maybe 3, maybe I'll do the first 3 impressions and go, here's why you should watch Lazarus or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what you can see on my side of the internet. Sasuke, back over to you.
Well, to follow your example, I think I'm going to do the same thing with Rock as a Lady's Modesty. Once we get episode 3, then I'll make my first impressions of the series, and maybe get some people to maybe watch the show who weren't initially checking out for the show, because for these first 2 episodes, I do think the show has some merit to it. It is a interesting show, so I think once I get episode 3, I kind of have everything I want in order to do a first impressions, and then I could do it on this channel, and then yeah. So expect to see that very soon. I think episode 3 for the show comes out like on a Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. So
Something like that.
yeah, maybe you'll get it this weekend. We'll see. But as far as my channel and stuff, you can follow me on my main channel, Sasuke the Savage, my YouTube, as well as my Twitch, Sasuke the Savage. That's with a DA in between the Satsuki and the Savage, where I am playing a plethora of games. I picked up Bloodborne recently, God of War. I played Silver Case for like 2 minutes and got out that game. But
Oh my god, silver case.
yeah, oh my god, it was a visual novel, and it wasn't visualing enough for me. Like the visual just made it seem so boring. I was like, yeah, I'm just getting exposition. Please get me out this game.
Stink.
But yeah, plethora of games that you can tune in. I usually stream at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shit, I mean, I'm even watching anime and stuff on there that I haven't watched. So always tap in with me. I stream for a long time, so it's easy to catch me on that side of the internet. But yeah, appreciate everybody who showed up for the podcast. Everybody who's watching the VOD. Remember to like the video, share it to everyone you know or have known in your life. Everyone, even your biggest op. Okay?
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll holler at y'all next week with a shorter lineup.